Hey, Comedy Hub, welcome to Saturday night. Tonight, we're starting off with a BLM fundraiser with Cabin Fever Comedy, followed with some more live stand up from KO Comedy. Now, here's the awesome host and everybody tonight from Cabin Fever Comedy. Here they go.
I'm going to do the Andrew thing. I'm going to do the Andrew thing, and I'm going to wait. Just paying homage to one of the greats. We're just going to wait until we see ourselves here on I still don't Twitch trust it.
I'm watching the screen, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, we're not here.
Not until there's a face. The funny part is when you guys pause like that, it makes me think I was muted during that whole intro, and nobody heard it.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're making it worse for everybody. I feel like that's the goal of this show.
It has to be.
We're all having a harder time.
Yeah, We really have to commit to it. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Cabin Fever Comedy. I'm Andrew Nadeau. I am joined, as always, by my favorite co-host, Nash Flynn. Nash, how are you?
I'm doing great. I hate this system so much. Who are we here for, Nash?
We are here for Black Lives Matter because it's 2021 and Black Lives Matter, which is ridiculous. But hey, you can donate. We should do some work tonight. As a reminder, all of our comedians and performers have donated their time. Andrew and I have also donated some time. We're here every other Saturday for your viewing pleasure. So please hit the donate button, and I will continue with my very excellent reward system, which is, by the way, in case you needed a refresher, if you donate over $30 tonight during the show, Andrew will drink. I'm deciding that right now without having checked with him beforehand.
I don't have any liquor here. I'm out of
Okay. All right. New system. It's fine. Okay. Know what? It's fine. It's fine. If you donate over $30 tonight and tonight only, I'm not drinking, but I will do another drop of this tincture, even though we have overindulged already. So it's only going to get better if you donate more than $30 tonight. Let's make it so I can introduce our headliner, because I'm really excited to introduce our headliner, to be honest. So let's just do that.
I've also donated my time.
Yeah.
This guy also.
I feel like you missed an important word on the ridiculous part, being that we have to say Black Lives Matter. You missed the part where it's ridiculous that we have to say it. Because I feel like the cause is something we're very much behind and very happy to be here for.
Sorry.
Andrew, you're messing up.
It's the marijuana.
Yeah.
I'm already a mess. You guys, I missed the last couple of shows because I've been ill, so I don't remember how to do this job anymore. We're just, killing it in the first 10 minutes.
Glad to have you back. Super professional. That's
fun. Yeah. I won't be at the next show probably. This is
getting
haven't missed a beat
now, but that's great.
This is how I get fired on live TV. It's fine. We're fine.
It's been a good run.
Yeah. I'm not fine, but it's.
We're back into real shows. We're hoping we can start streaming some live stuff here from Chicago and Boston.
Yeah. Well, if this is how I am during a Twitch show, I can't imagine what kind of rolling disaster my live shows would be.
Well, we're all looking forward to finding out. That's the exciting part, Nash. Nobody knows, including you. It feels like you
none of us. I don't think we want to know this. But you know what? In the interest of science, let's find out together.
Yeah.
Let's do it. As a reminder, too, and I was getting into this because I'm really still excited about it, even though Andrew hates it every single show. If you donate under $30, you'll get the head nod, which, guys, looks like this. Ready?
Worst system.
It's a good one. Okay. Yeah, it's a good head nod. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. If you donate under $30 or over $30, but you include a cool number like 420 or 69, you get the head nod and also the thumbs up.
Yep.
Look at it, though. Like, this is a normal, good-looking thumbs up, unlike the other ones that we've seen on the show beforehand when other people host it.
It takes like a full 3 minutes of the show to explain how the system works. You don't feel like this is too complex for very bad reasons?
I'm add a layer to it. If you donate $40, I'll show emotion.
Okay.
Yes. We did. Do you want to do a celebrity impression for this one?
Who would you like me to do?
Oh, there's got to be a good one. Hang on one second.
I was surprised to find out that Gilbert Gottfried recently.
Yeah.
I can, but he's really loud and my son will start crying.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good response. Your son's trained well.
So let's pick somebody really quiet.
Well, surprise us. If we get over 40, we're going to get a surprise impression.
Yeah.
I can actually do a few dozen, so.
Yeah,
that's a real thing that I can offer.
Yeah, so, it doesn't even have to be a surprise if you name them in the comments. We'll keep an eye out.
And they'll rotate along. So any donation over 40 will get a new impression.
Yeah.
And I'll show emotion when I do it.
Yep.
Just make it an upbeat one.
Yeah.
Of course I would.
Yeah. Great.
We know he's not going to do that, you guys. We know he's not going to do it.
I'm going to really depressed Ray Romano.
This is a great time to donate, guys, to
I've got nothing to live for. Oh, God, Deborah.
We didn't get the donation yet. That was now you all have to donate $40 to make that worthwhile.
Yeah. And I'm not going to start the show until somebody donates.
Please, we're already like 7 minutes in and have not even finished explaining this.
Not even 8 o'clock Central. We got time. Start giving $40, people.
We got nothing but time till 10 o'clock when KO picks up. So let's go.
Most shows just
Topics like when a show doesn't roll
give you
the
the show in exchange for it. I don't know why we do it this way, but but Nash has decided, so we're sticking with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is in celebration of. Sorry, the lawyers are back in my house. They're persnickety people. They come here every time I host, and I'm starting to be a little offended by it.
Right.
We do these things in celebration of your donations. I guess that was more important when we were drinking.
Yeah.
But less important now that I'm just doing drugs.
Yeah, a lot less legal issues now.
Yeah. Just.
Do we have comedians on? You want to?
Yeah. Well, I was really hoping we were going to get the donation so that my threat didn't seem like one of those things that I tell my kids that I'm going to do, but it's actually a detriment to me and not them. So I guess that's not going to happen, which is fine. So anyway, we've got a great show for you tonight. Let's get into the people who are actually way better at this than me, shall we?
Oh, thank God.
Right? That's what I thought we were thinking. Our first performer is a nationally touring comedian in Chicago. He was recently selected for the 4th time as a regional finalist for NBC's Stand-Up Talent Search. His first comedy album, Nick and Sheila's Kid, debuted at #1 on iTunes and Amazon. Please welcome Pratik Shrivastava. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to keep fucking it up. Shrivastava.
Yeah, you got it. Yay. Hello, everybody. Hello. How about a hand for everybody who puts this show on and for the cause tonight? Donate out there in Twitch sphere. You guys, you Twitchers out there, you're playing Fortnite for the 40th time. You can take a break from Fortnite and donate a little bit of money to this cause, all right? And if you do, I will make that bird talk that's behind me, you guys. So that is not a real bird. I'm actually in a Airbnb I'm staying at right now, and I'm performing in this Airbnb. It's fucking wild, you guys. So good to be here. Happy Saturday, everybody. I had an interesting day. I was walking down the street, and somebody said, "Hey, go back to India," and I had to be like, "Hey, I don't think India wants me either right now." Okay. I grew up here. I talk like this, like when I visit my relatives in India, I never feel like I truly belong, right? I feel like a bootleg Gucci bag made in a different factory, okay? Because I was not made in the original factory. I was made in a dirty apartment in the city of Chicago during a Wheel of Fortune marathon. Yeah. And the only reason it was Wheel of Fortune was because Jeopardy was a rerun that day. That's why. All right, let's get to it. This ain't a COVID beard. This is a cry for help. Look at this fucking thing. I look like a Bollywood rabbi, you guys. It's fucking. I look like I got bit by a radioactive modest Yahoo, you guys. And okay, so black beard and black shirt too. Like I look like I'm doing tech support for ZZ Top. What the fuck? It's fucking wild. And of course, I get mocked for my beard. People will call me, ISIS or terrorist or whatever. And it's not even white people doing it. It's other Indian people mocking me for my facial. Fucking sad, you guys. Like I have cousins like, "Oh, you look like ISIS. You look like ISIS." Ho, ho, ho. I'm like, have you seen the beards on members of ISIS? Their beards don't hold a candle to mine. This is a fucking badass beard. Those ISIS motherfuckers, they got patchy ass beards, y'all. Yeah, that's why it's so miserable all the time. No, this is an authentic beard. Meanwhile, those ISIS people, they get their beards at Build-A-Beard Workshop, right? No. Got those fake ass beards. This is some fucking badass beards, you guys. Yeah, I am growing it out. I'm going to grow it out another 10 inches. And then, only then will I cut it off and donate it to Locks of Love. That's the fucking plan. Because I am genetically blessed. All right. I can't just chop this off and it ends up in a garbage can in a Sports Clips in Illinois and in Sports Clips in Indiana. No, that's not fucking happening. This is golden beards right here. I love this thing. It's good. It's badass. I fucking love it. It's I feel like I could host the show in this beard. That's how much beard it is. It's fucking fucking wonderful. It literally, like I tell people, I've started doing in-person stuff, and people want to touch it. They want to climb. I'm like, yeah, climb it like the vines from Super Mario. It's the fucking warp zone of fucking facial hair. Climb this beard, you get to level 7. It's fucking badass. So yeah, I love my facial hair. It's fucking cool. I've been with family for most of the pandemic now. Which clap it up if you've been with family at all during this, and yeah. And I tried to be sober with them too, which is tough. It's tough because here's the thing: my parents drink still. I'm the one trying to be sober. Meanwhile, my parents are drinking alcohol every week, and I know this because I control the Instacart. I know what the hell they're ordering. And do you know what my traditional Indian parents are ordering? 10 bottles of rosé every week. That's what my traditional Indian parents are drinking rosé like a bachelorette party from Connecticut. What the fuck? It's fucking wild, man. I got vaccinated, you guys. I got vaccinated. I got the Pfizer vaccine. We're my Pfizer fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the choice to get the Moderna vaccine, but I was like, you know what, Moderna? That sounds like a Tyler Perry character. I don't know if I want to get a vaccine. And they were like, do you want the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? I was like, I'll get the Herbal Essence vaccine or Head and Shoulders vaccine. I don't want dry scalp in my blood. Okay. Yeah. So I got the Pfizer. I got the OG vaccine, right? I like it. I compare the Pfizer vaccine to the original Karate Kid movie from 1984, right? It's the original. Got Pat Morita, it's fucking OG, right? And then Moderna, that's kind of like, the Cobra Kai, Netflix, the hip version of the vaccine, right? And then Johnson & Johnson, that's the Jaden Smith version of the vaccine. That's what the fuck that is. I have cousins that don't want to get the vaccine. They're like, Pratik, you don't know what ingredients might be in the vaccine. And I'm like, this is a cousin who, you know what he eats? He eats 7-Eleven buffalo chicken rollers, and he's worried about ingredients in the vaccine. What about the ingredients in the buffalo chicken roller, right? They're fucking disgusting. I'm not just shitting on the buffalo chicken rollers from afar, right? I have studied them. I am the Jane Goodall of shitty food, all right? I have eaten. I'm a connoisseur, if you will. First off, they call them buffalo chicken. There is no chicken in this fucking thing, okay? It is deep fried rubber meat mixed with My Pillow Afterbirth. It's fucking disgusting. And it's covered in some like breaded, cheesy grease thing that you bite it and the grease drips all the way to Gary, Indiana. It's fucking disgusting. And you can't just eat one, right? You can't just eat one. No. They sell them 3 for $3. But do you know what Pratik Srivastava does? I get them 9 for $9. Yeah, that's what the fuck I do. I just down them like vitamins. Fucking. You could open up my head and it would be like a Pez dispenser of buffalo chicken rollers. They just come flying out, you guys. It's fucking wild. Here's the thing. I eat that many buffalo chicken rollers, and do you know what happens to your system? You know what happens? You end up with that much rubber meat. You poop out a bouncy castle for the kids. That's what the fuck. And you donate it to the kids because kids are the future. Am I right, you guys? Yeah, always taking care of the kids. I used to actually, during the pandemic, I had a job where I used to monitor children's social media accounts for cyberbullies and predators. It was kind of like a third-party Facebook content moderator. And I actually got this job because 5 years ago, I took improv comedy classes with my boss, you guys. Yeah. Which makes me one of the few people ever to get a job from taking improv comedy classes. I'm a fucking unicorn, you guys. I'm so rare. So I used to I used to monitor like what kids would say. We would have 30-minute meetings to determine how severe this emoji is versus this emoji. It was fucking wild, you guys. That's how I knew what Fortnite was, because we would have to rank all the Twitch and Fortnite chats out there. It was fucking wild. The craziest thing I ever saw at the job was I was reading a chat log from a 10-year-old child talking to another 10-year-old. And this is what he said. Fucking bizarre. Hey, girl, are you a school? Because I want to shoot up inside of you. What the fuck? We got to talk to these kids. You know what we need to do? We all need to eat buffalo chicken rollers. We need to poop out bouncy castles. We need to take care of these fucking kids because that's fucking wild. This kid doesn't even know long division yet, and he's talking about shooting up inside you. That's fucking nuts. So yeah, that was a sex 4 and a violence 4, and it was everything. It was fucking, the internet exploded when I saw that shit. It was wow, it was fucking awful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. That's what I was like, I'm tapping out. I'm throwing up referee X. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. It was good afternoon, good evening, good night with that shit. It was fucking wild, you guys. But yeah, I right now I'm pursuing my dream. You know, that's important, right? You know, as things kind of open up, you know, as we venture out into the world, it's important to remember your dreams, right? It's important to remember your dreams. Case in point, my father, he had a dream growing up that he wanted to open up his own restaurant. And when I was 5 years old, my father pulled it off. He opened up his own restaurant in small town Illinois. Yeah. It only lasted 5 weeks, but still, he pulled it off. 5 weeks. He lived his fucking dream. Now, being that my family's from India, you would think the restaurant he'd want to open would be an Indian restaurant, right? No, he opens up a Mexican restaurant. And I learned a sad truth about good Mexican food. And that sad truth is the more busted down the Mexican restaurant, the better the fucking food. Am I right, Zoom Sphere?
Yep.
It's fucking wild, man. Like my favorite Mexican restaurants, they don't have stainless steel tables and they're not in Chipotle. Yeah, thank you very much. I want to go. Give me a mom and pop taqueria with the Virgin Mary painting on every surface of its restaurant. How about that? Give me a taqueria that has a 3-year-old child running around the goddamn restaurant playing a broken Sony PSP. And I will tip that child well because he's also my server for the evening. Am I right? He's 3, but he's serving at a 5th grade level. He be working hard, yo. There's also a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie playing on Telemundo in the background of the restaurant, right? He's like, "Donde está la biblioteca usted?" You got to conjugate your verbs for you chop a bad guy in half. All right, that's going to do it for me. My name is Pratik. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your show.
That was great, man. I love that your boss was like, well, we have a need for making sure that these small children aren't bullied. I know this funny improv guy. Like, where did that connection come in? Like, this guy's really good at 5 things. We should probably get him in to do this.
Well, I'm super glad you were talking about dreams now that we're back to regular life, because unfortunately my lifelong dream has been to never leave my house for like a year and only work on Zoom. So
yeah,
some dreams do come true.
You're living
this one's gonna die really fast. Ooh. Anyway, I got a year out of it. Here we are.
That's been more than a year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this since April of 2020.
Like watching Nash do math because she's
I was literally
and you always look so confused.
Okay, but I'm an accountant with trust issues.
So it's nice I never confuse you.
Like I'm an accountant with trust issues. Like I will double check my math on 3 + 5 multiple times.
Well,
I don't even trust Excel. Like I'm a phone calculator. Like
never trust Excel. Excel is the Judas of accounting. Never
right?
trust Excel.
You put in one formula wrong and your whole life's work.
Exactly. You think you got this beautiful report, but the first thing goes wrong and you look like a fucking moron.
Yeah. And the whole thing's broken because you thought 5 + 3 was 12 time.
Is this relatable content?
I mean, there are at least more than
how many accountants do we think we have in our audience at the moment?
Oh, come on. We all do the Excel for everything. We all use
the
pivot
Excel
tables and macros. How about those macros, guys? How dynamic do you make yours? Right?
You know what I love? A solid pivot table.
I love a good pivot table. Like, do you like the classic or do you like the new one that came out with the 07?
Oh, I like the new one. I'm very pro the new one, but I'm also,
I like classic. I think the subcategories look better in the classic version.
No, what are you talking about? This show gets really
looks better.
really fast.
It looks more concise that way.
It's literally like, please move on to something else.
Look, our viewer count just dropped below 100.
Wow.
Only for the Excel jokes, you guys.
Hear about this Power BI? It's this new 365 Microsoft Office application.
God damn it.
Pulls from several different sources. Very cool.
All right. Well, this is.
Listen, if you thought the Excel stuff was bad, but I end up spending 20 minutes talking about my farm and that's better, how are ducks more relatable than Microsoft Excel?
We did 10 minutes on butter one episode. That was a mistake.
That's what I'm saying. Kerry Gold Butter, who still hasn't sponsored us, by the way.
That's because they suck.
I spent 8 hours talking about Kerry Gold Butter because I only exclusively use them, and they have still not paid me a dime.
LOL, man, little leaks.
Just can't believe it's not paying us money in butter.
Yeah.
Well, it's 4 a.m. in Ireland when we do the show, so they probably have no idea we're talking about them.
Don't they, though?
What are the people in America talking about with butter? I bet they're not talking about us. Just like that.
Okay.
That's how they all talk.
Can't tell if Nash is impressed or offended here. It feels like a little bit
I'm probably offended.
So yeah, you know what? ¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah.
That's my Spanish, for some reason, in a very Russian accent. Yep. Anyway, let's move on.
I like that.
Just, okay. Let's move on. I'm thrilled to introduce our next comic. She's a stand-up comedian. She's in Chicago. She's performed with Eyes Up Here Comedy in North Carolina, Don't Call Me Sweetie in New York City, and Women Behind Glass in Washington, D.C. Please welcome Shelby Couple. Woo!
Yeah.
Hi. Hello, everyone. The only reason that I use an Excel spreadsheet is to open it up so that the lighting looks good on my face because I'm an idiot. I recently dyed my hair. It's blonde underneath. My Zoom camera, you can't really tell, but it's red on the top, which is my natural hair color, and blonde underneath to symbolize that underneath it all I am a bimbo. I just want people to know, right off the bat. I love that Pratik was talking about rubber chicken for most of his, or rubber meat for most of his, because I'm as a white girl growing up, my mom couldn't cook anything else. That's all I had. Some of us had to build iron stomachs because she can't cook chicken at all. It's just salt, pepper, dry, gross. Yeah. But anyways, hope you guys are all good. Conservatives are saying that there's aborted baby fetus in the vaccine. Has anyone heard this? I'm vaccinated. You guys are vaccinated. We're all guilty. It's a little bit of an exaggeration because they're basically using the stem cells from one fetus in the vaccine that died in the 70s to help make the vaccine. I don't know science. I don't get it, but I looked it up. And but either way, I'm if you're gonna use that logic, then I have to justify I think I might have to justify any abortions I have going forward as philanthropy. Because I'm I'm not being a slut. I'm trying to cure cancer. Duh, get it together. Before the pandemic, I divorced a pastor. Are any of you pastors? No. Thank God I can do my next bit. Pastors are just sexless wizards, if we're being honest. I think the thing that bothered me the most about being involved in the church was all of the horny speak we were supposed to ignore because we're supposed to be super chaste and above it. But they'd be if someone was struggling with something, they'd be okay, let's all gather around and let's lay hands on our brother Tim. And I was that's the most porny way I can think of touching someone. Let's lay hands on our brother. That's too much tension. Too much tension. Or when you would sign an email to someone else in the church, you had to write okay, thank you so much, in him, Shelby. Because it's remaining in Jesus Christ. But I'm how can you be against gay marriage and kink shaming of pegging and shit like that, and then you sign in him on your emails? What? Needless to say, after divorcing a pastor, I haven't been the biggest fan of going to church, but I was dragged there by my family the other day. They're all still in it. And they brought this guy up on stage, and I was like, holy shit, like, can they be any worse? Like, I grew up super evangelical, and they brought this guy up on stage, and they were like, this man used to be gay, and now he's a celibate, happy Christian. And so badly, I wanted to just yell, like, prove it. Like, also, if like Christians think they can just change someone's natural sexuality, like, can they change me from being attracted to like mediocre frat boys who drink Bang Energy? Like, I went to church my whole life. I think they owe me that. Like, come on. Before the pandemic, I had one rule for dating. I was like, okay, we've been to low places. We married a pastor at 21. Like, let's like set a bar, you know, let's have standards. And I was like, no magicians and no comics. And now I've changed it a little bit. I'm like, no dead magicians and no dead comics. So I'm like, okay, if you can make my singleness disappear, like, take me. Yeah, dating's been rough. I don't know if anyone else is single, but especially in the pandemic, like, the worst parts are like guys who just want to like sext and not meet up because they were scared, like, before you were vaccinated. And I'm like, I can do that with my Alexa. Like, I don't need you. Like, also sexting is too hard. Like, adult life is already stressful enough without sexting. Like, he's all like, oh, I want to be inside you, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I'm inside me 24/7. It's hell in here. Like, get me out. Like, I have to have medication just to stay in this mortal form. But anyways, and then like I don't know, even like meeting up with guys, they'll be like, oh my God, like, last night was so fun. You're such an animal in bed. And I'm like, okay, which one? Like, what animal? Like, be more specific, Brian. Like, am I an eel, a flying squirrel? Like, zap motherfucker. Like, tell me what I am. But anyways, I'm not really good at dating. You can tell I grew up super conservative and I was homeschooled. So representing the percentage of children that were homeschooled here. But like, I don't like it when I tell people I was homeschooled, because a lot of people are like, oh, I could kind of tell. And I'm like, would you tell someone who was raised by hill people? Like, yeah, I can see it. Like, don't tell me that. Like, I don't want, like, I'm trying to blend in with you, okay? Just pretend I got my MMR vaccine like the rest of you. Like, I'm like, I'm vaccinated, and I'm like, for measles, finally. Had to do it myself. But anyways, my mom is still really conservative. She thinks that like more than COVID, like, we should be concerned with people's mental health problems because they're like shut in all year. And I'm like, that's really funny, because growing up, you always told me like if I had a panic attack to like go on a run or pray about it. So suddenly you're concerned with people's mental health issues. But anyways, like she said that if people had to be like quarantined any longer, that there would be people stabbing themselves in the street. And I was like, I know we have some ex-theater kids on our block, but I'm like, most people I think would just be happy to like do it the suburban way and like leave their car running in their garage. Like, I don't think people are going to be that dramatic and stab themselves in the street. Anyways, I'm very anti-gun. Is anyone else here anti-gun? I grew up around a lot of guns. They were never locked up. Cool. But I'm not anti-gun in the way you are. I'm anti-gun because every single gun is shaped like a penis, and none of them are shaped like a vagina or titties. Like, I'd love to shoot a gun that was like shaped like titties. Like, give me that power. Just kidding. No, I hate them. They're horrible. I was recently in LA visiting my friend, and I felt good about it because the last time I was in LA, I took 6 edibles and ended up in an ambulance. I don't know if anyone's ever done this before, but I took 6 edibles. I started like crawling, I realized I was home alone. She was doing an improv show. And I was like, okay, you've made a mistake. So I called poison control. And I was like, hey, like, I think I fucked up because now I'm throwing up and I feel very sick. And they were like, well, we don't know what could be in those. And I'm high, so I'm panicking. And they're like, you could be under the influence of anything. So I was like, oh fuck. And so I was like, I can't stand up to walk, so I'll crawl to the neighbors. So I crawled to the neighbor's apartment and I knocked on her door, and she came out, and the first thing I noticed through my highness is that she has a teardrop tattoo, and I'm like, perfect, you've seen shit, you've been through situations, this is not going to be the worst thing that you've seen today. And so I'm like, I trust you to take care of me. I'm like, this is not the first ambulance you've called. So I'm laying down on the steps, and she's like, can you get up? And I'm like, no. And so she calls the ambulance, and the next thing I hear is firemen coming up the stairs, and they're yelling, underweight Caucasian female, underweight Caucasian female. And I'm like, okay, that's a little rude. I'm working on it. I'm doing squats. I'm trying to get a body. You don't need to body shame me as if I'm gonna die tonight. So they start running up the stairs, and they're putting double IVs in my arms, and they put me in a blanket to carry me down the steps. And they were like, don't worry, ma'am, no one has ever died of marijuana toxicity. And I'm like, challenge accepted, I'm pretty accident prone. It might happen tonight. But anyways, so they took me to the hospital, and I think I yelled at them about giving me back my white Crocs that I imagined. And yeah, so I'm a pain on the healthcare system, and I shouldn't be around. But anyways, that's my time. Thanks everybody. Thanks for having me.
I had a nickel for every time I heard that story.
Yeah.
Right? Same.
Man.
You guys, we got a donation from Kerrygold Butter.
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess they are.
They told me to DM them. I'm sure it's their US branch.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're probably watching and they care about this.
Did we confirm that we can do drugs on Twitch?
Remember, I've already smoked drugs on the show.
Okay, it's not like I was advocating not doing it. I just wonder what the repercussions here are going to be.
The lawyers say it's fine.
Do you not remember Crystal Meth Night back in December?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't remember it. That's the craziest part.
None of us do. That's true, actually. None of us.
Yeah, we blacked that one straight out.
Yeah. Yeah, we almost got Jay off the channel for that one. That was rough. I feel bad for him.
That was a tough day. Yeah. But speaking of fun medical crises, I had my gallbladder out a couple years ago, and the drugs that they give you for surgeries are way more fun than the drugs that we get to do recreationally. I woke up on the table at the very end of things, and the doctor was like, you're all set. You're going to feel a little groggy. And I was like, have you seen my tits? And he was like, yes. And I was like, they're great tits, right? And then I passed out. Immediately was back unconscious. They woke me up a couple hours later. They were like, how are your tits doing? And I was like, they're great. They're always great.
I said the same thing when I had my wisdom teeth out a couple years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your tits were great.
Yeah. I had to make sure he knew.
He knew. He appreciated them, but he knew.
He did. Yeah. It was nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's always nice when you just get to share something with someone else,
It's nice to be appreciated.
Yeah. Humanity. We're all in this together.
Right.
With tits.
Yeah.
Should we move on before Andrew has a panic attack?
Yeah. He wants that haircut so gone. Why don't we just talk like this until all of his hair just falls out? He doesn't even need a haircut.
We'll save him some money.
Sitting here, what?
Yeah, we could do that.
I have done nothing to you people.
You say after a year of doing the show.
You know what you've
I
done.
assume that most of our viewers are new and haven't watched this. Yeah.
I don't think that happens.
Who would miss an episode of this?
I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
Not at all.
Just to answer the question in the comments, I live in Massachusetts, so yes, marijuana is very legal. I wanted to make that very clear, just in case it is not legal some places, which seems insane and weird.
Yeah.
Quite frankly. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. You might recognize our next comedian from... Where have you seen him?
Oh, no.
Oh, shit. My notes are really... Oh, you know what? You've seen him from this show.
What?
Everybody saw that one coming. He's a writer for Netflix Family, a runner-up for the March Comedy Madness 2021. He also has a podcast called Here's Where It Went Wrong. Please give it up for Andrew Nadeau. Woo! Woo! I gotta spotlight you. I gotta do my job now. There we go.
There we go. Oh God, that was sudden. All right. Everybody, let's get right into it. When a transformer dies, what's the respectful amount of time to wait before I can just drive it like a regular car? I had to write tech support the other day because my caps lock key got stuck. They said they wouldn't help me until I stopped yelling at them. The infinite monkey theory says if you give infinite monkeys infinite keyboards, they'll eventually recreate the works of Shakespeare, which is really unimpressive when you realize that Shakespeare did it without any monkeys. A lot of times people ask me, Andrew, you need to learn the difference between questions and statements. Went to the pet store the other day to try to buy a rabbit. When I got home, I realized they sold me a sideways duck again. I went to see a hypnotherapist the other day. All he did was hypnotize me, so every time I start to complain about him, it makes me want to go back. It was a huge waste of money, but you know what? Actually, it really helped a lot. My girlfriend said she hates when I play devil's advocate. I was like, what if you didn't, though? She did break up with me. She said I wasn't cultured enough. I was like, ooh, I'm sorry. I can't be one of those guys that knows how to do air quotes. They say you can't fight City Hall, but that's true for most buildings. Change is hard. Dollars are the soft ones. I hate movies with twist endings, like how at the end of The Sixth Sense, my mom came in and told me I was the reason my dad left. If you do like twist endings, you can just watch most of one movie and then the end of any other movie. Bought a used parrot. I'm not sure where he came from. All he says is, if I die, don't sell my parrot. Recently upgraded him. Got a tape recorder. A lot of people think unicorns are mythical creatures, but you can make one just by stabbing a horse. Yeah. They do go back to being mythical pretty quick afterwards, though. They say if a baby is trapped under a car, your love can give you enough strength to lift it off, which was a tough way to learn that I hate this baby. Since people get so annoyed with babies crying on planes, I started an airline exclusively for toddlers, which is dangerous because if anything goes wrong, nobody can put their mask on first. Also, the pilot can't reach the controls. Nobody told me which machines, so I've been raging against toasters. I had a friend say their rescue animal really rescued them, which made me wonder how badly the people at the shelter misunderstood their job. I love the feeling of butterflies in my stomach in a new relationship. I hate the rare disease that compels me to eat butterflies when I fall in love. I love to take a book and go sit in the park. That way the trees know what happens to them if they try anything. I found out you could download audio magazines just like audio books. I got Playboy. It's not the articles, it's just 45 minutes of James Earl Jones describing the photos. I think that watching porn gave me unreasonable expectations for how willing pizza delivery people would be to adopt a barter system. I had to talk to my doctor about not getting erections, but it turns out he's just not sexually attracted to me. I went in to get some test results. And he said, I have bad news and ambiguous news. I said, what's the ambiguous news? He said, one of us is dying. I went to a Viking funeral the other day, or possibly watched a murderer destroy evidence. I think being served breakfast in bed is the most romantic way to wake up. Unless you live alone like I do, then it's the most terrifying. I got kicked out of the opera for singing along again. I think that melancholy is the worst kind of melon, except for honeydew. I had to talk with HR at my new job. They said, who should we call in an emergency? And I said, me. They said, no, if the emergency involved you. I said, that feels like even more reason to tell me about it. Before CGI, when they wanted dogs to talk in movies, they gave them peanut butter, which I think is very impressive because I actually talk worse when I'm eating peanut butter. Even though it sounds so much less generous, people actually like beekeepers way more than me, a bee giver. I found a note in a bottle on the beach that said, please help, stranded on deserted island. Took months of searching, but I did it. I got that bastard arrested for littering. I used to carry a rabbit's foot around for luck until I realized the rabbit had it first and it didn't work at all for him. I got new blackout curtains. The regular curtains, I just put them up drunk. In zombie movies, they make a huge deal about not letting anybody bite you. But I've actually been doing that already. I got one of those word a day calendars. So far, each word is just a different day of the week. Took a lot of drugs in college, but my pharmacology professor asked that I not call his classes that. My English professor once asked me to name a literary device. I chose typewriters. I used to think owls were so smart until I realized they could just be buying those graduation caps. I met an owl chiropractor once. He's in jail now. Turns out that human heads don't go that way. You should never let someone tell you something's impossible. That's what the guy testing my homemade parachute told me, and he's dead now. So, feels like I won that one. How many sports do you think they tried shrinking and adding windmills to before they figured out golf? The worst part of being Einstein was probably how he did so much amazing stuff, but every time someone said, "Way to go, Einstein," it sounded sarcastic. Puppet dictatorships sound a lot more whimsical than they actually are. I saw some wet cement, and I always wanted to do that thing you see as a kid. So I buried a body under it. I was talking to my girlfriend about having kids. She said if we did, she wanted to name them after our favorite songs. So if we had a girl, she'd name her Layla. And if we had a boy, I'd name him DuckTales theme song. All right, I think that's my time. I'm Andrew Nadeau. Thank you very much.
Woo!
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 I want you to know I've never, ever, ever been able to move on past the butterfly joke. Just every time. I think about it literally every day.
I was iffy on that one, but I think I'm keeping it in.
Thank you. I love that joke. Just because I love the visuality.
Horrifying, yeah.
Horrifying. It's just some dude eating butterflies. Love it. Like butterfly on his face. He's on a date. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that. She's like, "What's on your face?" And he's like, "Oh, it's butterflies." You know what I mean? Like I love that moment of it.
Real. If you can make it through that, then you can make it through anything.
Yeah, there's like little
dissecting a joke. Yeah,
like a little insect bit in your teeth. Oh my God, love it. I know you love me too. Show's gone off the rails. I mean, it didn't start on the rails.
It's not like, we weren't in a clear place at the beginning.
Yeah.
No.
Nash is a mess.
Though, guys.
Been a rough all evening, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, Carrie Goldbutter is watching us, so I feel okay about that.
You know what? If Carrie Gold can donate, you guys can too.
It's looking at you, Lando Lakes. Let's do this.
Yeah, come on.
I'll do an impression. I'll show
every
emotion.
time. You know what? I buy Land O'Lakes cheese for the kids, my kids, not other people's kids. They're mine. I made them. I buy the cheese for the kids, but it always comes the package that just says LOL American cheese. you guys don't have the acronym to pull this off now. You can't use it anymore. You know what I mean? It means something else. So every time it's our laughter cheese. I ruined that joke by over explaining it. You guys understood it.
No, I didn't get it until the very last line.
Right? You're like,
really helpful for all of us.
That's because you're 500 years old. I was only explaining it for you.
He needs it. Grandpa needs it.
Yeah. Sometimes he just needs a win. You know what I mean?
So quick.
All right,
so
people, $40. I'll do a scared Michael McDonald.
Yeah. Oh God, the Michael McDonald guys. You get the Michael McDonald's fantastic. $40 to hear the Michael McDonald impression is well.
Michael McDonald terrified. He'll be scared.
Terrified Michael McDonald, and you're helping a good cause that you should actually absolutely be donating to anyway. So we'll get on to our next comic, but now would be a great time to donate.
Andrew's just telling me I got to do my job now.
Fine, Nash, dude, go whenever you want. Don't introduce our comics that have volunteered their time to be here.
They're like, please let us leave. Please stop talking about butter and let me go home.
They're here at knife point.
We're not fucking around. We're all together. We're just in separate stations.
That's how you book people in Zoom at this point.
We abducted people.
Yeah, we did. No, it's not a good situation.
No, we're deeply unhealthy, and this pandemic has really made it worse. Look, if you're not Land of Lakes and you don't really want to donate, I can't believe it's not butter. You guys exist, and we can't believe you haven't donated. Okay, this joke was not worth doing. Butter things.
I can't believe you haven't donated to hear a terrified Michael McDonald.
Remember when I set you up like 5 minutes ago to move on, so none of this had to happen?
You know Nash needs a minute.
Only always. I don't remember how to socialize with human beings. Our next performer was named one of Boston Globe's comics to watch. She performed at the New York Comedy Festival, and she produced shows on HBO's Women in Comedy. And she is a co-producer of the Boston Comedy Chicks. Please give it up for Noye Brown West. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Hey, I am the one black life on today's show. You're donating to me. Support me. I am a black life the only one. Spoiler alert. Actually, no, you can see us. We are all Brady bunched out, so you saw all of us.
Yep.
Oh man. Whew. I have been having a rough couple weeks. I contracted Lyme disease on 4/20. It was the first day I had left the house in months, and I went to the park, and boom, a tick bit me in the ass, right in the ass. And I found it when I got home, and it was just sucking away. And I felt like for a moment, you know what? This isn't so bad. It's the first time I've been sucked off in weeks. Okay? Love it. He was going in on the coochie. I just let him sit there for a while. That's probably how I got the limes. I am cured now. I did the doxycycline and there's no more traces of limes in me. But the doxycycline fucked me up. That's heavy duty antibiotics. Oh my God, it fucked me up. You might have seen me icing my face in between, and that's part of the, it killed all my good bacteria. Now my teeth are going crazy. Also, I fell down the stairs when I was on it. That's right. I fell down the stairs like an old lady. I fell right down the stairs and I busted up my ass. And today's one of the first days I felt better, but oh my God. I had my ass busted in harder than I have had in years. Okay? I am quite horny. I am very horny. Yes, I am. This pandemic has been crazy on me. My skin is just so dry now. It looks like crumpled up eggshells. Okay, it's really bad. I have to moisturize way more than I used to have to. The back of my hands, my nipples, just so messed up, right? Yesterday, I rolled over in bed and the bed caught on fire because of how ashy my nipples are, okay? It was crazy. The whole bed up in flames. It was wild. I'm very, very dry in places that are supposed to be wet, but I'm also very, very wet in places that are supposed to be dry. Okay. I'm talking top lip, all right, sweaty as hell, and top lip dry as hell. Okay. So things are going bad for me. Those are going bad. But I went hiking over the summer, okay? It's actually kind of a superpower because I went hiking over the summer. I got lost, as one does, right? And I was a Girl Scout, so I knew how to survive. But then it started raining. My matches got wet, so I couldn't build a fire, okay? But then I looked down at my nipple, and I just struck a log on that bitch, and I survived the night, okay? The reason I'm as horny as I am is because I am married, and we all know how that goes, right? Being married ain't it. If you like sex, stay single. Seriously. If you like sex, please stay single. I'm begging you tonight, okay? Wow, because we don't do it anymore. And I think the reason is when we lived in Boston, we moved to New York about 4 years ago. I was the breadwinner when we lived in Boston. I had a very high-paying job. Comedy was doing its thing. And then we moved to New York and all that money went away, okay? And my husband was then the breadwinner. And that's not sexy to me. It just isn't. I want to have all the money. I do. I want to be richer than the person underneath me. That's right. I do doggy. And that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. I meant cowgirl. I do cowgirl. There you go. What type of aggressive doggy is that if I'm on top of the person jumping up and down? I'm going to try that later. We'll see. But I'll try it with a dildo because, again, husband doesn't touch me. And, it's fine. I don't want him to touch me because I want to be richer than him. I do. I want to be the daddy warbucks of the situation. It's just the way I roll, and I need that in my life. In order to feel sexier, because I didn't feel sexy once I had no money. I didn't feel sexy once I had no money. I felt like I didn't deserve sex. I wasn't making enough money to enjoy it because all I could think, instead of coming, I was just focusing on being so broke. I was just so poor, right? So I ordered some clothes from fashionnova.com. You don't know them. They're a famous hoe clothes distributor, okay? And I ordered them 2 days stripping because I wanted to be a hoe in a hurry. I did. And 4 weeks passed and I did not get my clothes. And so I wrote them an email, okay? And I was like, excuse me, I think you forgot about me. They wrote me right back. They were like, oh, we're very sorry. In 6 to 8 weeks, you will either get your clothes, a refund, store credit, or an AutoZone gift card. I was livid. I was like, what is happening? An AutoZone gift card? Why? But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I do need some breaks. So please hook it up. I had to get some odd jobs during the pandemic. I became a Postmates delivery driver. That's right. I was an essential worker for about a week. It was terrible. And the reason it was so terrible is because rich people don't tip. And also I learned that rats can climb trees. Did you know this? Rats can climb trees. Up in Boston, they're lazy. They just eat like lobster by the seashore. All right. But no, in New York, they climb trees. They do acrobatics. I actually saw a rat jump into somebody's car at a stoplight one time. Okay. And the person ran out of the vehicle, just ran out of the vehicle. And behind them was a rat with a switchblade. They were getting hijacked by a rat. That's New York, baby. Okay. That's New York. That's what happens here. So I saw this rat in a tree when I was on my delivery. Saw the rat in a tree. I looked up in the tree. I was like, rat. But then, you know what? For a moment, I was just like, you know what? We're just two creatures enjoying the night. One of the rats was in a hammock because y'all need to recycle your masks. Okay. You need to throw them in the trash. Don't leave them. They know how to fashion hammocks out of them. That's the joke. I screwed up, I think. But anyway, made eye contact with the rat. And, I was like, you know what? He's pretty chill. But then my little rat friend decided to jump down at me. And what did I do? I fainted. I did faint. I fainted. I passed out. And when I woke up, my little rat friend was eating my Postmates, but also he was holding my AutoZone gift card from Fashion Nova. It was crazy. What? The service is impeccable. Fashion Nova will, okay? If Fashion Nova can, they will. Also, the other rat was banging on a tiny little pot and pan, thanking me for my essential work, okay? So that was pretty cool. It's like Ratatouille. This is incredible, all right? Get the vaccine. I'm one of the Black people who was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And I had a very bad reaction to my second vaccine that I kind of just want to share with you. It was very, very difficult for me. And this is how it went for me. Let me just play a video real quick. Okay. So this is what it felt like getting the vaccine. Okay. So this is the shot going into my body. It just poked. And it's like teaching everybody, like all my genetics, like, yeah, there we go. There's the DNA lining up and receiving information from the mRNA shot, okay? And it's just telling them, okay, do this, make those proteins, do this, okay? Yeah, and just like that, hey. So then my cells start lining up and they're like, okay, let me replicate these proteins. All right, yeah, we're replicating the proteins. Yes, this is what they said to do. This is what the mRNA said to do. We're gonna do it. They start twisting and jumping, and this is me just tired as hell. Like, what is happening to my body? And then my cells just start popping off. They just start popping off. They start locking off. This is my cells, and I'm just on the ground like this, just shaking, not able to breathe. And that was the reaction I had. It turns out you are not supposed to drink an entire bottle of Prosecco a day. You know that? Nobody told me not to do that. But when my husband got his shot, he knew not to do that. So that was good. He felt good. He wasn't me. I did get my shot because I am oh wait, you know what? I'm not gonna tell that one. It's probably too long. All right. This is live comedy, baby. Okay? It was live comedy. We decide on the fly what we're gonna say. All right. I just took a joke away from you. You're not gonna hear that joke. You're gonna hear this joke instead. I'm a Nigerian person. I'm gonna just jump to this. You guys probably like us, right? Or you at least get our emails or some shit, right? But, probably, right? And as a Nigerian person, I have a very regal African name. It's Chukwunairam. That's my full first name, and it translates to Messiah. Okay. I am a disappointment. I am, because I like Messiah. It's crazy. And my husband, he's a white, like everybody else on the show, and he has the whitest name you've ever thought of in your life. His name is Hunter. Okay, his name is Hunter. That's not just a white name; it's a white activity. Okay, white activity. And our little couple name, it's not cute like Benlo or whatever theirs is. J-Ben. I don't know. What are they calling J-Lo and I don't care. Oh, there we go.
Jen.
How did I not? Benlow. What is that? That sounds better, honestly. Sweet and low, Benlow. There you go. All right. So, yeah, Benlow. We don't have a cute one. Ours is Messiah Hunter. What is that? I don't know. That sounds bad. It sounds like we're the Romans in 30 BC. It's not good. It's not a good look. How does everybody feel about interracial relationships here? How does everybody feel about it? Like it? I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. The reason is, I not only did I marry white, I married a white from Connecticut. Okay, that was mentioned earlier. But being married to a white from Connecticut is like being married to the villain from any 80s movie. Okay. It's crazy too. Like his name is Hunter, and it's just so wild. Like if you're a Nigerian person and you have a name like Hunter, that means that you were a mistake because you just like popped out. Like we are a colony of England, so some people do have those English names, and those are the people that are mistakes. That's really it. And my grandmother, it's just a fact. My grandmother, when she gets mad at me, she says, Imbranoye, which is Kalabari, my language, for we should have named you Hunter. So that's just the biggest diss in our family, really. My in-laws, they, I can tell I'm the only Black person they've ever spoken to, which, is typical for Connecticut, right? So they try and learn about me. So they took me on a family trip a few years ago to Belize. It's on the water. I had to Google it. It was nice. And it wasn't a get out situation. I thought that too, but it was fine. And when we were down there, we did lots of like really rich white people shit, like private snorkeling tours. All right. I bet you didn't know that was a thing. It is. And while we were on that private snorkeling tour, I was the only one that was asked if I needed a life vest. Racism abroad, okay? And I was very offended because I grew up knowing how to swim. I grew up with a pool, and that pool was shaped like a cartoon duck. Swag, okay? So I got into that water, and I immediately started to drown. I did. Started to drown. The ocean's crazy. It has currents. I felt like Rose at the end of Titanic, but instead of floating on a door, I was floating on elderly white people trying to make it back to shore. So it was pretty wild. You guys, I have been Noye. I am Noni Fizzle on Instagram, at that Noye on Twitter. NoyeComedy.com, NONYE comedy.com. Thank you so much.
Woo!
Woo!
Okay, so solve something for me. You're originally Bostonian, right? You live in New York now. Which is the worst accent? Which is the worst one?
Oh, I mean, it's Boston, but I hate the Midwest accent. I'm sorry, Midwesterners. It's too close to Canadian. It's too close to Canadian. Pick an accent. Pick an American accent. No, just kidding. Yeah, no, okay. I actually have a hybrid accent because I didn't only grow up in Boston. I grew up like in Maryland and Alabama. So like some words I say Southern, some words I say Valley, which is the Maryland accent. And then I only say one word like a Bostonian, and that's rum. That's the only one that I say like a Bostonian. Rum. Yeah. R-O-O.
Brum.
Wait, and you're telling Midwesterners to pick an accent? You just
I know. I have like seven. And I don't know if you heard me speak Kalabari earlier. Impeccable Nigerian accent. Impeccable.
That's awesome.
Boston is the worst one.
Yeah, it is. It's worse than
it's the worst one. Yeah, it's the worst. It's just it almost hurts.
How did we have sex with people there? We did. We both have. It's crazy.
You can't talk about it. You know what I mean? Can you shut the fuck up? Like, we're trying to do a thing here.
The next time was the best in the 2000s when the Red Sox had Nomar Garcia Parra on the team.
Noma.
And all the guys would always yell, Noma! Noma!
Noma.
Noma.
Noma Garcia Parra.
Yeah.
It was so bad that when he was traded to the Cubs fans started doing it in Chicago. It's not even our accent. Like, it just felt very, very insulting, I think, to the Boston accent, which I didn't think was a thing.
Yeah.
Do a sketch thing about a porno made entirely by deep Chicago accent producers.
Yeah, I do that with my friend Mike. Yeah. Oh yeah, what you're gonna do here is you guys are gonna go on the couch there and you're gonna diddle each other for a while, and then you're gonna explode, and then you guys are gonna have a good time.
Wait, just because they're from Chicago doesn't mean they say diddle, okay?
It's our word. We love diddle. Diddle's a big Chicago word.
Let's try that sometime when we feel like doing an improv thing. We can do this on Spitfire.
I always feel like doing improv.
Dub over all of like the whorehouse scenes in Game of Thrones. You know, when Aidan Gillian is just like, stick your finger in her ass, just like dub over all of that.
If you could do me a favor here and stick your finger in her ass, that could be the right thing you could do right there. Make me a real happy friggin' guy. You know what I mean there?
We already have it. It's a wrap, you guys.
It's just not a Game of friggin' Thrones, you know?
Chaos is a ladder. I didn't know I could do that accent until right now, to be honest with you. I had no idea.
Princess kissing her brother. What is this family all about? What's going on?
They're twins, I think.
That's that. I don't know about that. I'm not sure I diddle my twin like that.
They're in the womb together, so it feels real special. I'm gonna stop.
I would watch the DVD commentary of Southside people who just don't understand Game of Thrones. I think that would be a blast.
We can do it right now. Honestly,
we could do
somebody screen share Game of Thrones. We'll fucking run with it.
I feel like this is the next podcast we're coming out with.
Did they just pour gold over that guy? Oh my friggin' Lord, that's a bad way to go.
He was kind of an asshole, though. To be honest with you,
pouring gold. Ouch. That's hot. It's hot, that gold.
How long will Andrew let us go on this?
We have a comedian left that maybe has stuff to do tonight. I mean, I'm enjoying the sketch.
I told you, he's got the meat sweats. I'm getting the death chat right now.
Oh my God, I'm so supportive of this, and
he's like, "Fuck you!"
Every time you go too long, you blame me. Like they can't see me doing nothing here but being supportive.
He's a really good typer. Like I'm fake typing right now, and you can't tell.
You should see
the
death threats we get via text during the show.
Yeah.
God, remember last time when you weren't here? That was so.
I mean, I don't remember, but apparently it was a lot better. You know what? Let's just.
It's peaceful. Yeah, there we go.
This will be my first and last show on Cabin Fever Comedy. I am so excited to introduce our headliner for tonight. I really, really am. He's a comedian. He's an actor. He's a musician. He's based in New York. He's performed musical comedy at the New York Comedy Festival and was featured in the New York Times for his show Rape Victims or Horny 2 with Cabin Fever alum Kelly Bachman. Please welcome Dylan Adler.
Woo! Oh my God. Thank you, everyone. I'm Jon Snow. Jon Snow is a bottom, and that's how it is. I'm very excited to be here. I'm Noye's husband. We're looking for a third. I'm very excited to be here. I'm a theater gay. I love theater. I'm really obsessed with, in particular, Hamilton. I really like Lynn, and I'm always kind of looking online to see, what is Lynn up to next? And I saw a rumor that Lynn, writer of Hamilton, made you a Christmas duet with Michael Bublé, which is kind of cool, but also a very weird combination of people. I was trying to imagine what would that duet sound like? I feel like Michael Bublé, he'd go like this. He'd be like, what a beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman. The Jesus from this clown. Well, look at your mirror to say no, man. Hey, yo, are you ready for the revolution? I was just ghosted by a white boy who owns a samurai sword. I'm not well. Hello.
No.
I'm not going to attack that, but speaking of traumatic events, this next song is a song about something that it recently happened to me during quarantine. So it's still very fresh and raw, but please laugh because that's my only sense of self-worth. Hit it, babe. I just drunk messaged my bully on Facebook asking him, why'd you do it? It was 8 years ago, but it still fucks me up to this day. Sometimes before I perform, I think, who the hell do you think you are? You're just an annoying twink, asking far too many questions in math class. Shut up. I have rehearsed how I curse out my bully. I have. If I could turn back time, because the way I responded in high school was, hey, stop it. Now I see him on Facebook. He seems to be doing relatively well. He has a girlfriend. Yay! I hope my bully chokes on 1,000 chodes. I hope he chokes on a chode and then chokes on another chode. I hope his face is disfigured from how many chodes he has to choke on. I'm sorry, Michelle Obama. I'm not rising above this time. Oh, by the way, a chode is like a penis that's extremely wide. Some older people don't. The reason why I am doing comedy is because the bullying made me want to become famous. So I tried out acting, singing, dancing, tap dance, gymnastics, and magic. But the one thing that stuck was comedy, but I really don't give a shit what art form it is, just so long as I get famous to prove the bully's wrong. I don't give a shit about the craft. I hope my bully gags on 1,000 keys. 7-word, keen. I hope he chokes on a chode while he sees me on the Tonight Show. I hope he sees me on Ellen. Ellen's like, were you bullied? I'm like, yes, I was. Then I face the camera and say, Seth, I hope you're enjoying that show. As a side note, if you dislike me, you are inherently homophobic. I don't make the rules. If you hate me, you are just canceled. If you're gay and you hate me, you're racist. If you're a person of color and you hate me, you're jealous. And also racist. Oh my God, I just saw my Facebook message and he's responding. This is what he said. Dylan, I'm sorry. In high school, I was insecure and I took it out on you. I feel really bad. Anyway, I know you're doing comedy. How's that going? And I was like, good. Yes, comedy is going good. Well, you know, it's online, but now it's coming back. It's complicated. I wrote this song is because I wanted some good to come out of the bad. The next thing I sent was, I forgive you. Just kidding, it still fucks me up every day. Yesterday, someone called me Miss Swan on TikTok and it fucked me up. I still hope that you drown in the sea of foreskin. I hope that you are run over by a militia of uncut dicks. I hope the devil's like, I'm a fan of Dylan's comedy while you are burning in hell. This song is not about rising above, because there is a wound within me that will never fully heal. So who saw Mulan? It was bad. The live action was bad. You know, I watched it with my mom, and the only thing she said after watching the Mulan was, Asians don't hug this much. Anyway, this next thing, who here is anti-vax? There will never be progress until our community starts speaking out. Anyway, this next thing, I'm gonna do a quick impression. This is, okay, I wanna try out a quick new song. This is the song that it's the song that white people love, that's just whistling. This is gonna be the best day ever. I'm so happy I'm marrying my best friend. The wedding will be all the white people. Except for the pianist, I think he's Asian. It's off a real experience. I was the only in Brooklyn. I was the only person of color as the pianist at a wedding. But this final thing I'm gonna do. Who here is in therapy?
Woo!
Yes, therapy, and I think it's good, but you know, sometimes I think mental health can be super up and down at times. So this is kind of a song about how frustrated I feel I am with where I am mental health wise. You know, despite all the work I've done with my therapist. Here we go. She's actually watching. Let's do this. Why am I still fucked up? I literally did a treatment where for 3 hours I pretended that my mom was a pillow. Then I started crying when my therapist was like, can you tell the pillow you forgive yourself? Why am I still fucked up? One time I left therapy like, I'm healed, hallelujah. An hour later, you're still in hell, you dumb cunt. I'm still fucked up. I'm gonna have a gay twin brother who's way less fucked up than me. How fucked up is that? I call him all the time. He's like, oh, sorry, I'm with my friends. Friends! Why am I still fucked up? I was raped in a hotel on the Lower East Side. I don't remember which hotel it was, but when I'm in the neighborhood, I'm like, Delancey or Essex? Why am I still fucked up? Also, my rapist was ugly. It's not that makes it worse, but it kind of makes it worse. I'm still fucked up. Why am I still fucked up? One time at a family gathering, I made a joke about the sexual tension between my twin brother and I, and it bombed. It was so awkward for my grandma. Survived Japanese internment. Why am I still fucked up? This is a true story. I was attacked by a white guy 6 months ago. It fucked me up. I tried to get a picture of the guy, but the picture was in selfie mode. Fuck my life! It just with my shirt. Why am I still fucked up? I kind of want y'all to be like, ooh, he's kind of sexy. I want to fuck him. Then feel guilty for thinking that. I'm still fucked up. My therapist says there's a poor dog, and one time he literally humped my leg. It's like, Fido, read the room. I don't know what they want from me. Like, the more therapy I get, the more fucked up I remain, and the richer she becomes. Cha-ching! I don't know what they want from me. It's like the more therapy I go, I steal her toilet paper. Ha ha! White bitch. Yes, I wipe my ass with my white therapist charming toilet paper. I need to stop falling for white men who own a bonsai tree. Just as fucked up as me, but it's okay because that means you're inherently boring. Thank you so much, and thank you for hosting this. That's been my set. Thank you guys.
Woo!
Oh my God, that was phenomenal.
It was.
My guts hurt.
I do listen to that whistling song too. I feel bad. That's like all of the stuff I listen to.
And I know that. I know that song. That's a lot of songs. Getting stood up by a guy with a samurai sword? Jesus.
I know. It was a low point. It was a low point.
In truth, though, yeah. No, I threw up. It's fine.
Yeah.
In truth, though, the person you are at the start of a therapy session and the person you are at the end of a therapy session, two different people. But what I like about it is you don't know who it's going to be and your therapist doesn't know either. It's like a magical mystery hour where you're like, where the fuck are we going?
It's like, am I going to be teen me? Am I going to be 70 when I come out? It's like, it is a mystery.
Yeah.
It's that song from Avita. What happens now? Sing it, Dylan.
It is. It's up to us. We don't know where the journey will. Yeah, exactly.
We don't. Yeah. That's what big sunglasses were invented for. So you can leave. Just mascara pouring down your face about something you totally fucking forgot about.
Exactly. Or sometimes she'll like end it right at the 45 when you're crying and it's like, oh, wow, okay. I guess, you know. Yeah.
Somebody's a capitalist. Janice, fuck you.
That's what I think. The economy strikes again. Yeah.
I guess they'll just never get better, Janice. This is your fault. Funnier every year, though. That's what they say. That has been it for us tonight at Cabin Fever. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to donate. And KO is next, so stay tuned. Night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
Good job.
Bye.
Oh, that was fun.
That was awesome. That was just fucking wonderful.
is up, everybody? Welcome to another KO comedy, this time on a Saturday night. How are we feeling tonight, guys? We feeling good?
Yeah.
Good out there?
Woo!
Yeah, now is the time to unmute your microphones and turn on your cameras. It is showtime. We're going to have a good one for you guys tonight. As always, please make sure that there is no loud noises going on in the background, especially if someone needs to ask for ramen. No ramen orders during the intro and during the show, just like last night's show. If you need to order ramen, put it in the chat. We'll read it in the chat. That's cool. Also, if you'd like to unmute for this show tonight, I'll leave it open. You guys can unmute whenever you want to unmute. However, if we get any more Postmates orders or dogs attacking each other or fighting with your significant other, I will turn on unmuting. So if you'd like to unmute and it says the host will not let you unmute, do not take it personally. Just shoot me a message and I'll do it for you. Super simple. Also, please support the show. The pandemic is almost over, but KO is still going strong. If you'd like to support us, you can donate to our Venmo. It's at KO-comedy. We also have PayPal for the Canadians, KOComedyShows@gmail.com. We also have Zelle, Cash App. We take check. You could just send all your hard-earned cash in an envelope and just leave it in your mailbox. You don't even need to put an address on it, and we will find that donation. If I have to send Sammy out there with a collection dish to every mailbox, we will do that just for you guys. But please support the show. Also, and probably most importantly, support the comedians that you see here tonight. These comics are here for you guys. They are taking time out of their lives to make you guys laugh. You can find their Venmo information on my screen during their set. Also, we'll throw it in the chat. I'll try at the end of the show. We'll put up just in case you wanted to wait till the end to decide on your favorite comic. I know how it is sometimes. You donate your $5 and you're like, I wish I would have given it to that person. If you want to wait till the end, that's fine. I'll put everybody's Venmo information on the screen. At the same time, that being said, are you guys ready to start this comedy show?
Woo!
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys are in for a treat. Your host for this evening, you've seen your host on Amazon Prime. He also has a special through Comedy Dynamics, and he's launching a new social media network this summer because the world needs another one. Please give it up for Michael Mahi.
Oh my gosh, guys, one more time for Paul. Paul kicking it off nice and strong there, guys. I love it. I got already the clapping emojis going. That is always so solid. Yes, Jinda, comedy in English every Tuesday at 12 noon Pacific time. I love how one of the fans, he's like, yeah, you're not plugging your own shit. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you need to let people know that there are other comedy shows out there. No, Jinda, I don't want to do that because it's all about KO comedy tonight, guys, okay? If you've never been to a show, round of applause if you've never been to a KO comedy show before. Has anybody here never been to a comedy show on KO before? Everyone's staring at me right now like, no, the pandemic's been going on for a year and a half. Pretty sure KO started the night of the pandemic. So pretty sure everyone has been to a KO comedy show. If you're not familiar with it, guys, KO comedy, you're going to see some of the best comedians around the country, sometimes around the world, performing for you guys right there in your own living room, or for Marcia and Mark right there in your grilling area. That is always a, oh, look, you got the dance going too. I love it, man. I'm not going to lie, Marcia and Mark, by the way, Marcia and Mark, it just sounds like some lovely show on like Home and Garden. I'm like, I want to check out Marcia and Mark. They got a great cooking show going on. They show you how to turn your backyard into an online comedy viewing area, and you can have burgers. It's a wonderful, wonderful combination. We all always got to love it. You got, obviously, Ruben turned off his filter for some reason there. Was that because of a canceling concern there, Ruben? I don't know, because you put on this and I didn't know if you were, just, I mean, look, I'm very progressive, so I'm not going to judge or whatever type of a thing. But it could have thrown a few people off the filter that you had going on right there. I love the fact that Ruben's always smoking weed, and yet he's got like the Virgin Mary behind him. Like, it looks like it's the most interesting combination. It's like, he's like, look, I'm really into like narcotics, but at the same time, I'm extremely religious. So I'm trying to balance the two out right there. It's always fun. Mike Eckert's got a new sweater. That's when you know it's a Saturday night. That's always that is a good sign. That when Mike Eckert, when he goes, he's like, you know what? I'm going to Marshall's tomorrow because there's a comedy show online on a Saturday night. I got to make sure that I got a new sweater for that. I don't know. Is Marshall still a thing? I just threw out a vague reference out there. Some people are like, yeah, we don't have those in my area of the country. Like, maybe you should make a little bit more of a universal reference. What else we got going on right here? Evil Dave is obviously here once again. And then we got, let's see here. Court does not show her face, but she's always got a lovely headshot going. That's always a solid thing going on right here. Guys, this is just me. I have no material. I'm not a comedian. I'm literally just going to stroll through this gallery for 10 minutes and look at people's names and saying, oh, what can I come up with about that? That's a solid one. Oh my gosh. By the way, this is an adorable one. Christina and Matt together. I'm not going to lie. That just made me extremely sad and depressed and lonely about my situation, that I spend my Saturday nights hosting online comedy shows, and I have no one to experience them with. So thank you for putting that up there right there, Christina. Oh, look at that. They're even together. They're even together watching. Oh, yeah. Okay, now let's do the PDA thing. You make it even worse. We're going to make it even worse. As we all know, Sean is living it up right now in the islands. You know that it's a real background when you're wearing a hoodie in that tropical atmosphere. It's always a good, solid look. All right, let's talk about a few things here, guys, before we're going to bring up the first comic for the evening right now. So basketball is going on, right? That's a thing. People play sports. I loved basketball as a kid. I was huge into basketball. I actually played high school basketball. Let's not get too excited. I only got in one game my entire career. Was not the greatest basketball player. Mainly, a lot of the thing is that I wasn't the tallest guy in the world. So basically, let me give you just kind of a lowdown of how I ended up playing in a basketball game. Okay, it was the end of the season. We were up by like 20 points. I was playing on junior varsity. Okay. As a junior, by the way, I was on junior varsity as a junior. So it was like me and 12-year-olds. Like, it's not a good look. They're like, oh, you're the man. You're the man on the team. And do you know, like it's anyway. So anyway, I'm out there and, we're playing or whatever. We're up by 20 points and, I'm at the end of the bench. Cause that's what you do when you're about like, I was about like 5'3" at the time, and back then, like, baggy clothes was like the thing. So I had like these massive warm-ups on, like those and one style, like warm-ups. And I had a shaved head. Because, I shaved my head for basketball. And by that, I mean, one of the guys from varsity held my head down and shaved my head for basketball. It's okay. It's okay. He was a really good friend of mine. And by that, I mean, I aspired to be friends with him. So definitely a good friend. Good friend of mine. Anyway, so it's the end of the game. He calls a timeout, right? We're up by like 20, JV game. He looks at the end of the bench and he's like, damn it. I guess I got to put that thing in the game. And like points to me, right, to come into the game. So like, I'm all excited because I'm getting to come into the game. And like, I'm like this little creature, right? I'm like this little golem looking creature, basically, right? Going up to the scorer's table. I'm like, get to go play basketball. So anyway, I'm going up to the scorer's table. They're calling me in. I come onto the court, and I didn't know this at the time, but by then the stands were completely packed with people, right? There's like 300 people. They weren't there to see the JV game. They were there for the varsity game that's happening afterwards, right? So they haven't seen anything that's going on. And some guy literally turns to his friend as I'm coming on and goes, "Look, it's Make-A-Wish." And like everybody thought that like this guy knew what was going on. So like everybody overheard that and like everyone was like, oh my God. And everybody got up and they gave me a standing ovation as I came onto the court. Like literally everyone's just going crazy. And I have no idea what's going on, but it's pretty fucking cool. Okay. Like to this day, this is still one of my greatest sporting moments. So I come onto the court, right? And we go up the court. And we get into our set, right? And I'm not kidding you, somebody in the crowd literally yells out and they go, "Give it to the cancer kid." Yeah. And so like everybody on my team like literally like looks at me and goes like, yeah, pretty sure that's him. Pretty sure he's the cancer kid, right? So they give me the ball, and now I've got the ball. And by the way, the other team doesn't know me. We're not friends. So they all assume that I'm dying, right? So the guy who's guarding me literally just does this and just falls to the ground. Like he just falls to the ground. And I'm just like, oh man, I just totally crossed over this dude, right? Like all that work's really paying off in the gym. And like I start going into the lane and like literally there's guys like under the basket and they just see me coming and they just did this. They just walked out of the way. Literally walked out of the way. So anyway, I'm going in for like the layup and like, I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be like my one shining moment. By the way, guys, I'm yelling so loud, my roommate can't stand me right now. So if anybody else, oh boy, I'm just getting this text message. Well, that is definitely throwing everything off here. Anyway, so I'm going into the lane, right? And this is gonna be like my one shining moment. I'm going up for this and I'm so excited about it that I literally forgot to let go of the basketball and I panic and I just throw the ball up in the air. And, yeah, I just throw the ball up in the air and like nobody goes for like the rebound or anything like that because they just, again, I'm the cancer kid, right? So they don't want to get in the way. So everyone just lets the ball bounce and I'm panicked. I don't know what to do. So I'm just standing there and everyone just goes like, he was fouled. And like, they're like, foul from like the crowd. So the ref's just like, fuck it, whatever. He blows the whistle and he puts me up to the line, guys. And guys, I'm not going to lie. I hit the free throw, right? Because if there was one thing I could do in basketball, it was hit free throws. The place erupted. I ended up being like athlete of the week. It was quite a wonderful moment, guys. And I miraculously recovered from the illness. So it's always a solid moment. Are you guys ready to get the show going? Are you guys ready to get the show going? Keep that energy going, guys. You guys have been absolutely fantastic so far. Make sure that you're keeping your cameras on and your microphones on. Your first comment coming to the stage. This guy is absolutely hilarious. You can see him right now coming up on the new HBO series with Sam J. Give it up for the one and only Kofi Thomas!
Woohoo! What's up, everybody? What's happening? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. It's good to see this a lot of diversity out here on this panel. Nice to see. It's been a minute for me. I just want to say, like, man, my name is Kofi, but I'm Caribbean. My family's from a little island called Dominica, but I was raised in Boston, Massachusetts. So if you have any idea, I grew up in a really, let's say, enlightening neighborhood. But so I came from Dominica, which is like beautiful waterfalls, parrots, everybody's like eating mangoes. And I went to a place called Dorchester, which is like the toughest neighborhood in Massachusetts. So I went from like paradise to like, oh shit, I better straighten up, right? So first time I got my reality check, I was waiting for the bus and two kids pulled up on their bikes real fast next to me. They were like, hey man, what the fuck are you smiling at? And I was like, oh, what? Wait, what is this anger? Do you all not have mango slices in your lunchbox? Why are we upset? We're 7 years old. Let's bring it down. So that was my first like cultural shock, was like going from the Caribbean to the hood. Then I think my parents were like trying to mess with my head, like see if I could handle different scenarios. Sent me to an all-white school in the suburbs. So I went from Caribbean to the hood, from the hood to an all-white school. All-white school. And I'm looking around. I know y'all are just like you might not get this, but trust me, it's funny now. Don't feel awkward or sad. All right. So when I was in high school, one day, the teachers like just out of nowhere was like, "Hey kids, we're gonna show a movie. Just sit down and watch it." They put on this documentary called Eyes on the Prize, which is all about the civil rights movement. So it's me and then a room full of white kids watching a black and white movie about how bad Boston was to black people, right? And then after the movie, they're like, "Okay, well, time for sports." No discussion, no rap. We just went out and I played JV baseball. So I get out, I'm on the baseball field, and the coach, like I hit a single, I'm on first base, and the coach says, "Hey, Kofi, steal." And I'm like, nah, no, I don't think so. I just watched what happens in the past. I'm not gonna be the only black kid stealing out here right now. This feels like a trap. So I've always been like real skeptical about shit. And like I'm in New York now, I live in Brooklyn, and I hear a lot of people from my hometown in Boston will call me like, "Hey, Kofi, congratulations. Congratulations, right now it's legal to smoke weed outside." And I'm like, "Oh, like, hold on, save your congrats." Because like something being legal and something being okay for black people is like that's two different timelines, right? Like there's like, it's like a 30 to 40 year window after something's legal where I'm like, okay, this is not a trap. Okay, I'm gonna light up some weed out here. Because it was legal to vote for black folk, but it wasn't okay for a while. So I'm not gonna be the first black person in Brooklyn to smoke in front of a cop and be like, "Okay, it was a trap. I'm going to jail." Hey, y'all got me. Oh man, I'm trying to deal with the fact that I have friends who think I know shit or that I have any power, and I don't. I'm real. Like, I'm a simple ass person. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. When this show said Pacific time, 7:00, I was like, "Woo, okay. Which Pacific? Is it my Pacific? Is it your Pacific?" I swear to God, I asked my roommate, "What ocean are we next to?" No. All right, it's the Atlantic. So I was real early to this show. Right? But I hate it because I got friends, I don't know if y'all got friends like this, but they'll watch something on the news and then come and tell you about it because they want you to be sad like they're sad. So I gotta, you know what I mean? Like he'll watch something, then he'll come to my room, he's like, "Oh, Kofi, can you believe what's going on right now in Syria? We should do something." And I'm like, we can't do nothing. We're struggling to pay rent right now. We have our own issues. Plus, I don't know shit. I'm not qualified to deal with any world problems. Listen, this is the first year that I've paid for a towel. Did y'all get that? I didn't know how much a towel cost until this year. If you asked me before, "Hey, Kofi, how much is a towel?" and I had to guess, I'd say, I don't know, $3, $4. Like, how much is a napkin? It's like 10 napkins. And with inflation, that's a towel. So I'm not the person for like any major world problems. People like, he was like, "Oh man, he said, oh, our economy is in a bubble right now." I was like, I don't know about any economy. My bank account is always in a negative bubble. That's what I know. That's where I'm at. Oh man, I'm trying to like talk about how as a Caribbean person, we have heroes that people don't really know, like aren't heroes worldwide. So for us, like our hero, like in America, you have like, maybe like Martin Luther King, like JFK, but in the Caribbean, it's Sean Paul. Sean Paul is a fucking deity in the Caribbean. That man is somehow like the most ambiguously ethnic person to ever sing reggae. you can say he's whatever race, and people would just nod along. Oh yeah, no, he looks Filipino. He could be he could be Mexican. He could be Guyanese. He could be from Belarus. But what Sean Paul does that is beautiful is Sean Paul sings about things he cannot do. So Sean Paul's got songs like "Get Busy," "Move Your Body." Yet, if you look closely, look back through the tapes, Sean Williams Paul has never danced in a video. He is one Jamaican that does not know how to dance, but he makes songs and he dreams for the rest of us. And that's what I want to do. I want to be a dreamer. I'm a dummy, but I want to be a dreamer like Sean Paul does here. What else did I want to holler at y'all for? Oh, man. Hold on. I got one more thing for KO Comedy. Oh, shit. Yeah. All right. So tell me. All right. Y'all are a pretty diverse panel of judges, right? Tell me if this is a setup. Okay. A cop came to my door the other day. It's true shit. He said, "Hey, I would like your vote because I'm running for sheriff." Is that a trap? I'm a black man. I answered the door for an officer, and then he asked me for a vote. I just want to leave y'all with that. Leave your answer in the comments. Was that a trap? Am I safe? That's it. All right, y'all. That's my time. Back to your host, Mike. Thank y'all for having me. KO Comedy.
Kofi Thomas, guys. Kofi Thomas one more time. I love how I'm putting on that voice right there. Kofi, you still there, dude? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
All right, dude. The funniest thing about the whole Sean Paul thing is that, like, this is not a joke in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
But like, I aspired to be a reggae rapper when I was like younger. Like when I was like in high school, like that's what I wanted to do. So there was a lot of Sean Paul that was being played at my house. And
you do the voice?
I tried to do the voice. I've done it at karaoke, and people seem to have a good time, or they're pandering me. It's one of those two. Like, it's really one of those two right there.
Big up, selector.
See, you can do it better than I can. That's for sure. I feel like if I do it now, it's just appropriation, and I don't think that's appropriate in any way whatsoever. What could pass in like 1997 does not pass today. Like it was actually funny, actually, and this is something that some of the people who are online watching this show right now will understand. A lot of your favorite comedians that you're now seeing on KO Comedy right now, you may have seen them in the past, and you go, "Hey, why isn't that bit being done anymore?" Because I think we as a society have evolved now, and we didn't realize at the time what we were saying. So guys, that's just basically my excuse for anything you saw on a Just for Laughs showcase in 2004. I was 21 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. Dating is weird, guys. Dating is weird. That's a thing. No, I'm kidding. I was just going to go into a hack premise right there. Guys, speaking of dating being weird, you know what else is weird? Asking for money. Asking for money is a very odd thing to do, unless you're in an online forum, in which case you feel like you're just able to. And so I'm just going to say that directly right now, guys. A lot of comedians right now, hey, you know what? It's been a little bit of a struggle this past year, right? So if you can donate back to KO Comedy or directly back to the comedians, would be absolutely fantastic, okay? Because I don't think you guys know this, but most of the clubs that are open, that are at full capacity, are places you don't want to go. So we're not traveling to those places to do shows, right? Like our next comic coming to stage, she's going to explain to you what that all means right now, because the next comic coming to stage is actually doing well for herself, but you still want to donate to her. You've seen her at the Laughing Skull Comedy Festival, which is absolutely a fantastic comedy festival. Also the Women in Comedy Festival. And she's a staff writer for Disney Plus's reboot of Doogie Howser, which I'm really excited to hear all about. Give it up for the one and only Sabrina. Woo!
Hey, yeah, please feel free to give me money still. I still got rent to pay. Okay, I'm Sabrina. I'm obviously Asian. I'm also gay, so everybody just thinks I'm from California. I'm not. Okay, I'm from the Midwest, but I'm not I'm not vanilla, okay? This next bit is so dumb, but it is better if you all buy in. Okay. My greatest sexual fantasy. I'm a cop. She's also a cop. I walk in, right? I'm like, you're under arrest. She's like, you're under arrest. I'm like, whoa, if I'm here and you're here, then this is a waste of taxpayer money. And then we do it hyper realistically out of respect to our K9 units. Okay, now my second greatest sexual fantasy, I'm home alone. She's away. Now, my third greatest sexual fantasy, okay, I'm like hot and in high school again. I'm like, oh my God, thanks for meeting me under the bleachers. She's like, oh my God, thanks for bringing alcohol. I'm like, oh my God, can I kiss you? She's like, what the fuck? No, I'm not gay. I'm like, right. And then we both go to prom with boys. I came out as a lesbian in high school, which means that I cannot listen to another person who realized they were gay in their 20s in New York City. Like, that's being gay in New York City in my 20s is like all I have. Everyone who got to go through life thinking they were straight as a teenager skipped so much trauma. It's impossible to list. Like this girl that I grew up with, she was doing pageants. She went to prom with someone she was sexually attracted to. And then she says to me, well, recently I realized I was gay through TikTok. I called my friend. I'm calling her, crying. I come out to her. And then we had like a really nice threesome shortly after. That was her first gay experience. She got to live in a really gay-friendly neighborhood, Chelsea in New York, and she got to hook up with a Chandra, a queer woman of color. And I don't mean to sound like an old man talking about the internet, but I did not have that growing up. When I had sexual experiences as a child, I'm on the way to a basketball game, okay? A high school girls basketball game. I'm on the bus. I play point. The post is next to me. We're rubbing the outside of each other's vagina going, doesn't that feel weird? And then like, what? Next week we have a sleepover, right? Me and this post player. We're just friends. I go, hey, my back is really itchy. And she's like, do you want me to scratch it? I'm like, okay, yeah. She asked me, do you want to scratch mine? So then I'm like, yeah. We scratch each other's backs for hours. Just hours of like feeling each other's backs, okay? But no kissing, no release. My clit is the size of a fucking ping pong ball, okay? And then at some point, I'm wrapped around this girl. No kissing, just scratching. I go, maybe I try to test the water, see if we can take it to the next level. I say, hey, my lips are a little itchy. And she just takes her hand and shoves it in my mouth. And at which point I'm like, well, this could mean anything. And then I'm on her, right? And then I'm sorry if I'm opening strong, but I'm on her. And we're humping away, okay? And to make things weirder, I hear bow bow, and I look to the right, and at the side of my bed is my 80-year-old Chinese grandfather, and I don't know how long he's been there. So then she throws me off her, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, okay, this is when I'm kicked out of my family. This is how I'm outed. I scratched a girl's back for too long. But all my grandpa says is, because I don't know because I still to this day can barely make sense of it. He just says, Bao Bao, your grandmother has not pooped in 3 days. Please go to the store and buy her stool softener. And I was like, And then he left. And to this day, I think he's just like, she's not gay. They just have eczema, I think he's in his own little world. Okay, so I wasn't outed, but I'm fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? Like she realized within a day that she was gay, and then she had a threesome. I still can't come to this day unless someone else can't shit, you know? That's a very different experience. I spent my whole life dating closeted women, like women who, you know, like I started dating closeted women. I was on this weird, like habitual dating people who don't want to be with women. My lowest point in life, I was with someone for a year, and a year into seeing me, she goes, Sabrina, it's been so nice being with you. I love you so much. Do you think that maybe you'd want to be my squirrel friend? That squirrel friend because girlfriend was too fucking weird for her. And the lowest point of my life, and I've been in and out of being suicidal, but the lowest point of my life, I'd have to say, is when I responded in that moment. Oh. Like that. You have to really fucking hate yourself, you know, to agree to be a squirrel when you've known since high school that the last thing you want is fucking nuts. I literally hate wordplay jokes. I regret that joke instantly. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I guess I guess I seem very bitter in this set, but I'm just gonna lean into it. I promise I'm usually gentle. Okay, anyway, I've only had one rival in life. I used to do a lot of story slams. Like I thought I was hot shit. I won a couple in a row. Then my freshman year of college, I took a storytelling class, like a small seminar. I was like, and then that class was like, let's go to a story slam. And I was like, okay, I'm going to kill this story slam. Like, I'm going to win and everyone's going to love me. I go up in front of the entire class. I eat shit. I bomb. And then to make it worse, another girl is like, oh, this seems easy. I'm going to do it. She goes up. She wins the whole thing on a whim. Everyone loves her. They're like, she's so talented. She's an amazing performer. She's so funny. I was like, oh, you think she's funny? Oh, you don't even know what's coming for you. One day, I looked at the girl and I was like, one day you'll see, I'm going to be so much more successful and a better performer than you and way more successful and famous. And that girl is inaugural youth poet Amanda Gorman. What? You know that girl who performed at Biden's inauguration, the one with the one that Michelle Obama said changed her life? Mm-hmm. So, it's a close race. I'm trying to get booked on some bar shows. She's hosted the fucking Met Gala, and she's already done the Super Bowl. And if she becomes a staff writer on Big Mouth, I'm going to kill myself, you know?
Oh my gosh.
My grandma doesn't even speak English, and she will not stop WeChatting me about Amanda Gorman. What did Amanda Gorman say that could have possibly moved? Whatever. Okay. And then a little bit, so my grandma's from China. My parents are Chinese. They're immigrants, but they named me Sabrina. And one time I was like, why'd you name me Sabrina? And my dad was like, well, your mom and I were playing a game of poker, and whoever won got to decide. If I won, I was going to name you, or if your mom won, she was going to name you after the movie Sabrina. But if I won, I was going to name you after the rare earth metal europium. What the fuck? And I always feel bad because he's actually a good man. He fled communist China, poor and alone. You know, a better life he wanted to give to his daughter, europium. And I'm fine, but my brother not as much, because like the only thing harder than being the only person named europium is being yet another Asian boy named Kevin. Also, my dad is just like on my mom and dad always on different wavelengths, you know. Like I was home with them for a bit, fought every day. My mom was like, every day they fought because my mom wanted to watch Big Little Lies, but my dad wanted to watch the Chinese version of The Bachelor. And it's just like, that's when you know they should get a divorce, because clearly my dad wants to get away with dating 30 other young Chinese women, and my mother wants to get away with killing her husband and also rich off of it. Okay. Last PSA. Have you guys heard of the children's book Tiki Tiki Tembo?
Yes.
Okay, for those of you who don't, it's critically acclaimed, widely taught. The first sentence of that book is, there once was a Chinese boy named Tiki Tiki Tembo, no saw Rembo, Cherry Berry Ruchi, Pipberry Pembo. No, there wasn't. But this white lady, when she was confronted about this racist name, she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak Chinese. I just wrote down what I heard my neighbor say. So I'm going to do a fun Zoom experiment. I'm going to say real Chinese, and then at some point I'm going to switch to not quite Chinese, but I won't tell you when. You tell me when. Okay. 我的名字是吴俊怡，我很喜欢吃西瓜，而且你有没有听说这个书叫 Tiki Tiki Tembo, No Saw Rembo? Very fucking you guys got it. I've told that joke a million times, and you are the first group that has gotten it. Okay, I'm Sabrina. Thanks so much. Give it up for Michael.
Sabrina, woo! One more time. Give it up for Sabrina. Sabrina, I've actually an interesting story here. Well, it's not really an interesting story, more just I need to get some therapy off my chest. And let's be honest, guys, you're here on a Saturday night with me. This is what I'm going to use you for. Sabrina, I actually have an opposite thing going on with myself, is that pretty much if there's any women out there that are not sure, like, you know, what gender they identify with or what sexuality they identify with, just go out with me. Just go out with me, and you will recognize what your true feelings are about yourself. So I don't know how much more of an ally I can be than that, because that is absolutely true, Sabrina. The majority of the women that I've dated are now no longer dating people that look like me, and if they are, they don't identify with this gender. So it's an interesting thing. There's no joke here. I don't know why this is, guys. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm the people that match with me on dating apps are like college athletes and comedians. Like, probably maybe I should just like, I don't know. It's something I need to work on, and maybe we all can work it out. Maybe we can workshop it here, guys, is what I'm trying to say to everybody here. Marsha and Mark are like, you know what? We're just going to go back to our barbecue because I don't know what this guy's referring to. I'm a little thrown off right here, guys, because my roommate started texting me while I was trying to tell a new bit at the beginning of the show, that story that was 17 minutes. And it really threw me off. And you're probably going like, oh my God, he still lives with a roommate. How sad. Or you're like, that's why I'm starting a social media network, because I can't live with a roommate anymore. That is why that's happening. Let's keep that energy going, guys. Can we get that energy going? Come on, guys. I want to hear some clapping. Get your mics on. Yes. Oh, Mike, look, Mike Eckert's doing it. He's clapping. He's not yawning. It's a great sign. It's fantastic. Guys, your next comic coming stage. She is absolutely hilarious. She was recently named by Thrillist magazine as one of the best undiscovered comedians out there. No pressure at any way whatsoever. And she's got some science themed comedy shows. Give it up for the one and only Kasha Patel.
Woo! Hooray! Yay! This is so exciting for you. Yeah. Can everyone hear me okay? All good? Nice. I thank you, Michael. I feel like there was a lot for us to unpack there before you brought me on, you know, your dating history, your social media. I feel like we just heard everything your therapist heard in the last session. So thank you for that very much. Also, I loved Sabrina's set. It was so great, but I love how Asian it was too, because Michael introduces her as like, oh yeah, she's killing it in a time where like everyone else is just like feeling really depressed. And then Sabrina's like, yeah, but I'm no Amanda Gorman. And like, that's just always how we're trying to like one up ourselves. So I feel you. I appreciate that. I liked Kofi talking about Sean Paul. That's a name we haven't heard in a while. Like as soon as he said get busy, I immediately started singing out loud, like get busy. And then I saw the KO people in the chat being like, please make sure you're in a quiet space for your mic. I'm like, oh snap, could they hear me? Like how terrible. Like, you know, when you're on a Zoom call and you're like, oh snap, like I would definitely get canceled hardcore if my video or my microphone was actually on. So Luckily, we're almost out of that, so I appreciate that. One thing about Zoom comedy that I think we've all learned, the virtual backgrounds. I always wonder, like, what's behind there, right? Like, one thing I learned about Zoom during pandemic is that if MTV Cribs was with non-famous people, that show would have been extremely lame. Yeah. My Zoom background, so I actually started this kind of weird habit during pandemic where I have my telescope and I started taking pictures of my neighbors and then I put it on my wall. So that's actually what I'm covering here. I mean, I guess I should just show you. I mean, it's not like we all have like our weird, like fetishes and things like that. So, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. These are all of my planetary neighbors. It's great. That one is actually a picture of my backyard and you can't prove otherwise. Sabrina's dad would love my background, Europium, that's what I'm talking about. My name is Kasha Patel. It is a foreign name. I always think foreign names always have the prettiest meanings. Like my mom's name is Shoba, which literally means beauty. My brother's name is Kavi, which means poet. I found out that my name, Kasha, also has a meaning. It is a type of buckwheat. Thank you. My ex-boyfriend actually found that out and had to break up with me. He was gluten-free. I like watching everybody here in gallery view. Like, I like how Kia has it says Kia's iPhone, which sounds like such a brag to me. It's like, oh, great, you have an iPhone. But then she's on another phone while she's zooming with her iPhone. I'm like, what? 2 iPhones? What kind of money are you making? Okay, 2 iPhones. Or, have your parents adopt me. I just want 1 iPhone 6. That's good. I'm excited about this new phase we're turning into, the pandemic, guys. The pandemic's over. Yeah, no masks. Yeah. Just kidding. The CDC just gave up. It's fine. No, it's good. I like the no mask rule if you're vaccinated. I like it because I still wear my mask, even though I am vaccinated, to tell other people that, no, I still don't want to talk to you. Like, maybe they won't come up to me and talk to me because I'm not ready to move to that new social phase of the pandemic. Because people are being way too aggressively nice now. Like, people are just wanting to hug you all the time. And I was like, I didn't even hug you before pandemic. Please stay away from me. Like, yeah, you might not have COVID, but you still have a terrible personality. So no, I don't want to catch that. Please stay 6 feet away. Please. I'm on East Coast. I'm in Washington, D.C. Anyone, where are my East Coasters at? All right, just a couple of the comedians. All right, great. Have you guys been hearing about the cicadas on the West Coast? Don's looking at me like, is that an English word? I don't understand. No, the cicadas are like these big, like grasshopper type insects that are like really loud and they come out in the billions. And it's really, really annoying for a lot of people. Like, and I understand why, because like large numbers of things make me very uncomfortable, like insects and birds and Fast and Furious movies. It's like, we don't need that many of any of those things. But they actually come out in the billions because it's actually a strategy for survival. The cicadas come out in billions so that way they can overwhelm predators. The idea is that if a bird comes and attacks a swarm, they can't eat all the cicadas, so at least some of the cicadas will survive and spawn. Like, it's strength in numbers, which to me is brilliant, right? Like, I think that's why schools created marching bands. Right? Because you can give one kid a wedgie, but try chasing an entire trombone section and giving them a wedgie. At least a couple of them will survive and spawn. All of my pictures back here are from NASA, which is pretty cool. I think NASA is kind of unfair because like no other government agency gets as much love as NASA. Like I've never seen someone wear a shirt that said IRS because they liked what they did in the 60s. Scientists actually estimate that the footprints on the moon will last for 1 million years, which is the longest example of a man not cleaning up after himself. I do like science. Do we have any other people who like science here? Any science enthusiasts, scientists out there? You can like type it in the chat if you're a certain type of science person, or if a nerd. You know, I love nerds. I actually used to call my iPhone charger mitochondria because it was the powerhouse of my cell. Thank you. That one's for the nerds. I actually took a computer coding class when I was really young. Actually, when I was like in middle school, which was actually pretty great because that meant I learned the importance of a missed period long before I ever hit puberty. I did read a study recently that said men are funnier than women, but it was written by a man. So I just assumed he was joking the entire time. I was like, yeah, this paper's hilarious. You're a real comedian. Yeah. The reason that this author said that men are funnier is because it was for evolutionary reasons. Like men had to be funnier so they could attract a mate, have sex with them, give them orgasms, and repopulate the earth. And it's actually statistically true, scientifically true, that funnier men give women more fake orgasms than unfunny men. Wow. That is absolutely true. These students also actually created a condom that can detect STDs. It's actually coated in antibodies. So when it comes into contact with an STD, it actually glows a different color. Yeah. So if it's green, it might be chlamydia. If it's yellow, it might be herpes. And if it's blue, it might be on too tight. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm Vinkasha Patel. I run science-themed comedy shows, and hopefully I'll see you at some virtual ones. Thank you very much.
Woohoo! Kasha Patel, one more time. Oh, we got the music now. Oh, man. See, the music just adds a little bit of flavor to the show. And I just said flavor, and that sounds ridiculous coming from my mouth. So let's all pretend that never happened. Right, Ruben? Right, maybe coming from you, you look like you probably have more flavor than I do, so that would be a better term. I am actually Latin X, guys. I am Latin X, and I don't believe it either. So it's totally cool. I was actually born in Caracas, Venezuela. That is a real thing. I moved to the United States when I was 8 years old. I didn't even speak any English, Ruben. Didn't even speak any English. And first day I went to school here in the United States, they asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from Caracas, Venezuela. And they said, I've never been to Mexico.
Oh.
That was the teacher. So that's the state of our educational system. Right. The public school system is not great in the United States, is what I'm trying to tell all you people here. I love how Kasha brought up the fact of the whole NASA thing. I just realized that I'm appropriating NASA too with a soccer shirt here. That's what's going on right there. It's true that everybody loves to use NASA. Marsha and Mark, did you guys get your microphones back on? I know you guys wanted your microphones on. Yeah, there we go. Good. Awesome. We because we want to hear what's going on at the barbecue. Honestly, I want to know what you guys are eating. I really do. I'm really, really excited about that. Oh my gosh. Fajitas. Well, guys, give it up for Marsha and Mark cooking up those fajitas. Give it up for Jinda walking from his bedroom back to the living room to watch more comedy. Always got to make sure. Kia's texting somebody to let her know that she's watching a comedy show on the other platform. That's always a good thing. Oh man, you guys have been absolutely fantastic, guys. Keep that energy going, okay? We just have just a couple more comedians for you guys. So can we do that? Can you guys keep that energy going just like you did at the beginning of the show? Come on, keep that energy going. Guys, your next comic coming to the stage. is absolutely hilarious. Originally from Canada, I believe, now in the DC area, headlining all over the place, has Cambodian roots, and recently just released a musical album. Give it up for the one and only David Kerr!
Woohoo, thank you. I love the intro music. I was grooving in the backstage. Hi, everybody. Can you please unmic your microphone? Because you're all going to sound like the void of my mother's heart. Okay. I really need some warmth right now. It's pandemic. Come on. This Asian needs some validation. All right. We're closing the end of Asian American Heritage Month. I need validation. I just released a musical album. It's an all Asian American cast. And I sent it to some friends. And then there's a friend who said, "Oh, wow, good luck getting that out there." And I'm like, geez, what could you possibly do? Like, being supportive didn't even come across her mind. Like, it's not obvious at all that she could just share it. It's like, come on. Anyways, intuitive. All right, I shouldn't start with bashing my potential fans. So he already spoiled it for you, obviously. Just by looking at me, you can tell I'm French Canadian, right? I speak, Cambodian, English, and French. It's more like Alabama French. It's like the language of poutine and hockey puck. And I'm married and a comedian, and no, he's not whipped. At least that's what I tell him what to say to people. And people always ask him, like, how is that? How is it to like be married to a comedian? Like, she talks about your business stuff out there and all, and they're judging. They're judging like in the old days when they would look at a man and say, "Look at your lady sleeping around." Now it's, "Look at your lady speaking around." But no, he's really cool. People always ask me, like, how do you know if you're with the right person? And I tell her, it's always a girl who cares to ask that question, apparently. But I say, you're with the right person when your heart can be stupid. Like, if you don't have to use all that defense mechanism and everything you've learned from your previous past, then that's how you know you're with the right guy. So my heart's been stupid for 20 years. And that stupidity led to 2 beautiful kids that, surprise, are Asian also. And I have some friends who say, like, "Oh, I hope you got them a good big belt to discipline them." And I'm like, what's that? I have barbaric friends. But I mean, when my kids argue, I would go to them and be like, "All right, you kids, you need to work that out. All right, if you don't resolve that issue, I'm going to redecorate all your rooms with clowns." That's how you discipline them, And a lot of people who have anxiety, they'll ask me, like, how do you raise your kids? Are you raising them more Asian or like more Cambodian or more Canadian or American? Like what's your style? Is it attachment parenting? And I'm like, what's people's obsession with labels nowadays? Like, why do you have to know what it is exactly? Like, life is not like walking into the Container Store where everything has a container and a sticker for everything. Like I have some friends who would go to the Container Store and buy a container that says paperclip. Bring it home, realize they have no paper clips. They go back to the store to buy paper clips to fill it up, to fill up their containers. And I'm like, you're a moron. Like, you need to know what you need. I don't know. It's people are too obsessed with labels. You need to just relax. I used to be so competitive. Like, if you farted, I would have taken a dump right there in front of you. But now I'm taking it easy. I'm slow. Like, when the phone rings, I don't run like a moron to pick up the phone anymore. Like, I don't know why. I'm from the generation where you had to run. Like, the phone rings, you just run. You just drop everything and run. Like, your life depended on it. But then I'm also from the generation where we hit everything to fix problems, right? The TV didn't work, you would slam it. Your computer didn't work, you would just punch it. Your tires didn't work, you would just like kick it. I mean, even the music on the radio was like, beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. And it worked because like one time I was mad at my computer, I threw it out the window, it broke, and I got a new upgrade one, and that's how I used to solve all my problems, with mental violence. I'm not violent, I'm sorry. I am from Cambodia, but Pol Pot did not meet me. I was too small, thankfully. Okay, that was weird. What's happening right here is I'm pandering to Sabrina because she gave me anxiety. She's like, "I hate word plays." And I'm like, dude, you can't do that to the other Asian who obviously loves word plays. That's our culture. You just denied an entire continent right there with Confucius. And anyways, yeah, I still like you, I guess. But You just ruined my set. So now I'm there trying to like avoid everything like a land mile in Cambodia with, bombs and genocide. Anyways, what is EV Yash? Anyways, I was talking to my mom the other day, and she said, why are you like kissing your kids so much? Stop loving them so much. I love you, I love you, I love you. That's like white people. Okay, they always say I love you, and then kick them out of the house at 18 years old. Like you have to stay like us. Like we never say I love you, but you get to live with me forever. They're gonna become weak like Care Bears. And I'm like, Care Bears are still bears. Like, how would you react if you met a bear? They're badass. They're tattooed. They went through a lot of shit, and that's why they tattooed all the pain and misery on their tummy. And I don't know why people want to be strong all the time so much. Like, my son is right. We took him to get a vaccine. I mean, let's cut back to when he was a baby. When we took him to get a vaccine, and he would do a great job and would be like, "Ah, you're so brave. You're so brave." And then later the movie Brave came out and he just screamed, "No, I don't want to be brave," because he thought it meant needles. And seriously, I don't know why people want to be strong all the time, because it's just an accident. You're strong because you have to. You have no choice. I don't know why you have to be strong. Like, it's very overrated. It's an accident, like people becoming salesperson. You ask Timmy when he's 5 years old, Timmy, what do you want to be when you grow up? He's not going to be like saying, I want to lead a millionaire seminar and teach people how to do their ABC, always be closing. No, you become by accident a salesperson, and then you just go with it and you pretend you're into it, and then you manifest shit. And but if you asked him when he was small what he wanted to do, that's never been what he wanted. Like my parents survived a genocide. They're badass, right? But I'm sure that they would rather just be white people buying too many sheets at Target. Thank you. I feel validated when Sabrina laughs. I'm like Sabrina is my virtual mom right now. I look at her face; she looks too much like my mom. It's giving me anxiety. Anyways, it's crazy. I don't know why I stopped worrying about how I raise my kids anymore. But I felt guilty when I didn't teach them English or French or anything, because like my parents didn't have to worry about how they raised me. They looked at me and they knew, like, oh, she thinks she can dye her hair blonde and all, and she thinks she can act like white people, but her pubic hair will always stay black. She's always Asian. So I'm going to enforce my Asian values on her forever. So, they made sure I found a very approved sugar daddy that would take care of me. I wouldn't have to be so smart. I mean, who cares if I have a bachelor or not, as long as a man takes care of me. And I thought that was a bad thing back then. I see the light, thank you. I thought it was a bad thing, but I mean, it's pretty great. I mean, people always snub arranged marriages. I mean, obviously it's bad if you're 7 years old and forced into marriage, but like in my case, arranged marriage was pretty cool because they do all the homework for you. Like I don't have to go check if he's a criminal or nothing. They did all the background check. I mean, any dude had to go through a thorough process as if he was applying for a citizenship in the US just to score my hymen. I mean, that's pretty nice. Like I'm not going to complain. Anyways, when I talk to my mom and my kids trying to bother me, she'll be like, hey, ignore him. He just wants attention. And I'm like, Mom, did you just diagnose accurately his needs, his emotional needs right there? And you tell me to ignore it? Like, if he said he was hungry, you would feed him, right? But he wants attention, and that's bad. And that's not just my mom who's an asshole. It's a general universal jerk flex, right? Like everybody, like if a girl wants attention and shows her tits, everybody's like, whore, she wants attention. I'm like, just give her attention. It's free. Like, I think maybe people would give more attention if it was tax deductible. I don't know. Staring is love. I mean, when you eat, you just eat. But when you love your burger, you stare at it. Right? You just stare. I mean, that's love. That's attention. Speaking of staring, I'm going to close on this one. We were watching Coming to America, the sequel. And there's a scene in there about the circumcision, right? And both my sons, 12 and 9, they said, Mama, what did they cut off? And I said, I'm sorry, kids, we had to do it. I'm like, when I was a kid and I didn't know about consent, you taught me about consent. And I'm like, what? You have to match daddy. For some reason, daddy wanted you to match. I don't know at what point he was imagining you guys being in the locker room and all like compare your dicks and be like, oh yeah, that's my son, But that's the only thing I could not compromise. I couldn't just chop halfway. Your dad wanted you guys to like snip. You just had to do it. So my youngest said, wait, Mama, but if the tooth fairy owes us $1 per tooth, how much does the foreskin fairy owe us? And I said, I'm sorry, sons. She's pretty cheap. She only left us the tip. All right, that was my time. My name is Davine. Thank you so much. Yes.
One more time for Davine Kerr, everybody. For Davine Kerr, keeping it going. Gotta love it. It's starting to get dark. We got Marsha and Mark. After dark. Over there. That sounded weird the way I said that. That sounded weird, like I was writing fan fiction or something like that, like erotic fan fiction for Marsha and Mark, and that would be weird. That would be weird if I was going that direction. One more time for Davine Kerr, guys. Come on. Talking about her mother, talking about children. A lot going on right there. I'm actually, speaking of mothers and foreign mothers, my mother, obviously, she is from Venezuela. And I'm friends with her on social media. Anybody else here friends with their parents on social media? Yeah, Davine's like, yes, absolutely. I know exactly where you're going with this. I'm friends with her because I'm running an online comedy show on a Saturday night, so I need her financial support. So that's why that's still happening. But here's the thing. I don't know whoever is friends with their parents on social media. My mom doesn't understand. She can't just tag me in every picture from my life without asking me first, right, Davine? Like, I'm not kidding you. My mom tagged me in a picture after I'd had surgery in a hospital bed. I'm not kidding. There's like an IV hanging from my arm. There's literally like a bedpan next to me. I'm literally like this in the picture. I'm not kidding. I'm literally like this. I'm like, Mom, you have to take this picture down. It is not flattering. And she goes, no, Michael, I cannot. This picture is very flattering. I look amazing. It's actually now her profile picture, which is just very, very unfortunate that that's going on. My mother's name is Teresa Ochoa. My name is Michael Majid. That is from my father's side. Actually, it's Magid from my father's side. And a lot of people, obviously, they don't know Teresa Ochoa is my mom. She's friends with me on social media. What does that mean? She comments on all my comedy posts. She also gets all her friends to comment on all my comedy posts. If you guys literally look at posts of my comedy, it's just a bunch of like middle-aged Latin women like talking in Spanish about how wonderful I am. Like, if I went into a meeting, they'd be like, "Oh, that's your target demo, right? Like middle-aged Latin women. That's what you do. That's the shows I'm going to book you on." So, looking forward to that trip right there. It's interesting though, because like the thing is, like, my mom's birthday just recently passed, right? And do you ever like go through the greeting card aisle and you're trying to find a card for somebody in your family, and you're like, yeah, I don't believe anything about this. None of this. Like, I don't want to say any of this to this person because that's a lie. I don't want to say lies. So I was like, do they have an aisle for like people you don't respect? Like, if they had that, like, I would love to get a card in that aisle. Ruben's like, oh man, I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to laugh about it because I would feel like an awful, awful person. Mike Eckert's laughing on the inside. We can all tell. Mike Eckert is absolutely laughing on the inside. Guys, just a couple more comics. I really need you guys to keep that energy going. Come on, kids, get that. Can we get some music going or something, Paul, just to get the room going again? I said room going again. He's like, no, I'm not here. I'm actually using the bathroom right now.
Got that copyright.
Oh, you got that copyright going on. He's like, you can start dancing and like clapping your hands. Guys, let's keep that energy going. You got two more comics coming, guys. Your next comic coming to the stage. You've seen him on MTV. You've seen him on NBC. All right? Give it up for the one and only. Oh, and obviously Amazon Prime. Give it up for the one and only. Amazing. And looks like every Jewish cousin of mine on my dad's side. Give it up for the one and only Chad Shapiro, everybody. Chad Shapiro.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, that's right. Michael, we are cousins, and I am Jewish. Clap it up for me. It took me 3 days to paint my wall. My wife is pissed a little bit about myself besides being outed as Jewish. Thank you, Michael. And that's how I got the show. We're related. I'm middle-aged and half-grown. Yep. Topped out about 5'3" when Michael was playing baseball. Still waiting for that growth spurt people been telling me about since my bar mitzvah. I'm 45. They call that middle-aged. I call it bullcrap. Because that assumes you know the age you're going to die. Divide by half, that's math. If I die tomorrow, I'm end of age. Hear about Chad? He was middle-aged for like a week. Now I'm at the age where my friends are getting divorced. My guy friends are trying to pick me up in a brand new sports car, leather jacket, hair they didn't have yesterday. All right, we were not going to say anything about that. We make fun of that midlife crisis guy. I don't know why. He just bought a sports car. He's doing great. I can't even afford a midlife crisis. I could only afford a predicament. I'm in a midlife pickle. Stuck in my house, I'm bored. Now I'm addicted to this new video game app on my phone. It's called Instacart. It's a first-person shopper. Actually, it's a grocery delivery app, but I play it like a video game because you control a human being in real time. It is awesome, like Avatar, right? It makes sense. I'm plugged into my phone. I got VR goggles. I'm like, let's shop! And they track every step of the way. They assign you a person. I'm like, ooh, a shopatar. And here it goes. Bing! Joro has started your order. Yeah! Joro! He's quick, nimble, could reach the top shelf. I like that. Bing! Joro has shopped snickerdoodles. Yeah! Dessert first. I like your style. 5 stars, Joro. But you don't get to choose your shopatar. Oh no. I got Sharon. Yeah, her profile said yoga nutritionalist. I'm pretty sure she made that up. She took 2 gigs, formed it into 1 gig, and promoted it on her side gig. I don't even know what yoga nutrition is. What's that? Downward dog? Graze on grass? Like, what's nutrition for a yoga body? It takes -3 calories to maintain a yoga body. But here she goes shopping for me. It's like, bing! Sharon just shopped butter. Before eggs? It's on the way, Sharon. 4 stars. I'm firm but fair. Then Sharon just started replacing items that I wanted with healthier options. It's like, bing! Hershey bar is out of stock. Would a Lara bar do? No, Sharon! A Lara bar won't do! Sharon, 3 stars! Sharon? It's like, barbecue ribs are out of stock. With kale and quinoa? No! Quinoa does not replace ribs, Sharon! My body, my choice! Sharon! Alright, I gotta calm down. I'm gonna have a heart attack. She's just trying to help me. So I took a breath. And that's when I ordered 6 cases of water, glass bottles. Try walking up 6 floors stairs, Sharon. How about that for yoga nutrition? 3 stars, Sharon. Then she just starts giving me random suggestions. Like, what about a Boca burger? What about it, Sharon? It just means mouth burger in Spanish, like I'm an idiot and don't know where to put it. I don't want a Boca burger. I don't want a Beyond burger. Go to a hamburger aisle, get Exact burger. I don't want an Impossible burger. I want an attainable burger. I want to attain that burger in my Boca, Sharon. All right. I gotta calm down. Like, it's not her fault. I'm just in a midlife pickle. Bing! Cucumbers would be. Not now, Sharon! 1 star! Game over! Sharon. Now I'm mad because Sharon made me a Karen. and and I'm still gonna have that heart attack. She's driving me to drink. Me and my wife have been stuck in the house like everybody, drinking too much. We are married. We've been married for 18 years. Here's the key to marriage: never go to bed angry, but we wake up furious. That's a little tip. 90% of people, right? Here's studies. If you drink too much, studies show that 90% of people who drink found themselves passed out puking, right? And the 10% don't remember. Because it's the alcohol never makes you change your lesson, right? It's always some rule you forgot to follow or some mixer that tainted your drink. I swear, in college, I got sick off drinking screwdrivers, and till this day, I cannot drink orange juice. But I still drink vodka. There's no other thing that you're willing to do to yourself that gets you so sick and then choose to do again the very next day. You wouldn't get food poisoning at a restaurant, then call up your friend and be like, "Hey man, remember that Mexican buffet we were at the other day? Yeah, you crapped your pants? We're going again tonight! We're gonna get so full! But remember, beans before rice, everything nice. Rice before beans, messy jeans. Because it's always some rule you forgot to follow." That's it for me. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the show. Take care.
Chad Shapiro, one more time, guys. Chad Shapiro. Okay, let's never see me do that dance again. I was trying to get a dance. No, Ruben's like, I need to give that guy dance lessons. Like, he said he's Latin. I don't buy it. I don't buy it in any way whatsoever. He needs some help with this from his mom. My mom tried to teach me how to merengue. That did not go well. It was not a good thing at all. By the way, has anybody else noticed that Jinda has been walking for the last 25 minutes? Has anybody else noticed that as I've just been scrolling through this whole thing, I'm like, I think Jinda's on a ride. I think he's like doing some sort of amusement ride as he's watching this comedy show. He's making it very interactive for himself. Give it up for Jinda, always here at the KO Comedy Show, guys. Giving it up. Everybody else who's a regular at the show is like, what about me? Like, you're not going to give me a special shout out? Yeah, maybe if you were walking for the last 25 minutes and entertaining me that way and engaging me that way, I would give you a shout out too. Ruben's way too high to do that. It's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure Mike Eckert is just a bot. So yeah, that's not going to happen for Mike. Nope, now he is. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. Oh man, it's been good times, guys. We just have one more comedian coming to the stage, but before we bring up that comedian, we want to let you all know here at KO Comedy that if you haven't had enough online comedy tonight, guess what? There's more online comedy tonight. That's right. There's a 9:00 show coming up at KO Comedy. If you'd like to check it out, it's exact same link. You literally don't have to go anywhere. You can just stay here and you can watch the next group of comedians perform. I won't be here because I need throat lozenges after trying to do that one act out of me doing that basketball game. So I probably wouldn't be able to do another hour of comedy. I know Don Fry's thinking about staying. Just looking at his face right there. He's got that nod going right there. Heather is doubting whether I'm telling the truth. I can see it in her face. She's like, I don't trust that guy. He's wearing a weird Under Armour hat. I don't trust anyone who's that whatchamacallit, selling out to the Under Armour brand. Oh, Bianca says she's going to be there. That's fantastic. Bianca's going to be there and she's going to have her horrifying a background, wonderful background, not gonna lie, very different, very eclectic, but I'm not gonna lie, I will be waking up about 7 times tonight after looking at your virtual background right now, guys. If you'd like to also get turned, stay for the 9:00 show. That's the way we're thinking about it here, guys. Are you guys ready for your final comedian of the evening? Are you guys ready? Come on, keep that energy going. Let's get that energy going. guys, your final comment coming to the stage. She was the winner of the Flappers Super Bowl competition. That is a play on words. So Sabrina, you might want to leave the comedy show by now. I know your feelings on a play on words right there. You can check her out virtually this summer at the Laugh Riot Girl Comedy Festival and the World Series of Comedy. Give it up for the one and only Erica Switzer, everybody, taking it home.
Hey. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I'm Erica Switzer. I am live in a green room in Chicago, getting ready to do another show. This ghetto as hell. It's going to work out, though. We'll make it work. As Michael introduced me, I'm Erica Switzer. I'm a Black American woman with a German name that used to teach English to French kids in the middle of Shanghai, China. Whoa. If I add one more nationality to that, I get a free venti something at Starbucks. But I used to love my job. I used to take it seriously. I teach my kids the classics, like Macbeth. But what Kanye is Macbeth, and Kim Kardashian is Lady Macbeth, you know, like the original clout chaser. Because I do believe it was Shakespeare who wrote, "Avast, she be a gold digger. And the lady doth protest a broke. See, I used to teach my kids those classics. I also used to teach them functional stuff, things they need in life, like how to talk Black. Mm-hmm. One of the first words I ever taught them was finna. Like, I'm fixing to do something. I'm about to do something, right? You already know. Heather knows that. So there's nothing like seeing a little cute blonde Parisian boy say, Miss Switzer, so it's like, I'm finna go to my next class. Gold star, Pierre. Good job. Good job. Miss Switzer, if Pierre doesn't give me my pencil back, I'm finna whoop his ass. World star, Juliet. Get him, girl. Get him. You might be wondering what a sister from Chicago was doing over in Shanghai, China. Well, getting in good with our future overlords. That's what's up. But I had just gotten divorced when I went over there. I know there's nothing about China that smacks of eat, pray, love, but here I was, touring, eat, pray, and loving through China. It's because I had just gotten divorced. Like most of y'all in this room tonight, I'm divorced. And, you know, the divorce left me feeling kind of romantically disabled when all I was trying to do was be pussy paralyzed. You know? And I mean, Jinda. Yeah, really, for real, the truth. That's what Jinda means. That's right. But no, in Chinese culture, if you're a woman in your late 20s or early 30s and you're still not married, you're considered a leftover woman. I am reheated. Like a Marie Callender's lasagna in the oven, reheated with the crispy edges on the sides. That's me. Tasty, but a little crispy, you know? And I tried to get out there on those apps. I tried to get back on the dating scene. I got some really interesting matches, you know? This one time I got matched with this real hot Korean guy, like BTS hot. Woo. Right? And I was like, okay, I want to put some hot sauce in my kimchi. All right. And so I messaged him and he messages me, have you ever eaten Korean guy before? I said, I like bibimbap, not bibimbap. This one time, this real buff Chinese guy messaged me and I said, what's one thing you're not afraid to admit here? He said, I'm gay. I said, so's my ex-boyfriend. So what's that got to do with me? The two of them are dating now. All right. It's okay. But I started meeting up with these guys from all shades and backgrounds and everything. And I came to the realization that, you know, some of them were like lacking in the drumstick department, you know, and wasn't able to tap that drum. And I kind of came to the realization that if you lined some of them up and had them magically form a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers dick, it still wouldn't be enough to reach. I was having that trouble. It's rough trying to date out there, man. And I came to the conclusion that messing with me is like the game of American football. It is a game of inches. And so if you going for the score and you coming up a little bit short, it's the other team's turn. You feel me? So I came back home a couple years ago and I wound up meeting up with somebody who's not my usual type. Like he's short, he's skinny, he's got long blonde hair. When he turns around, he looks like a hot Ukrainian chick. Hot is still hot, right? Like he's a beautiful boy and I'm a handsome girl, so it works out. But you know, have you seen those couples where the guy is hot? He's like model hot. And then you look at the girl like, she must have some good pussy. I'm trying to avoid that situation, you know? And it's amazing. He's very, very white, but he's very black where it counts. It's incredible. We met in August of last year, and the first dick pic he sent me is still downloading. And it's amazing. It's so big. For us, sex is social distancing. It's amazing. And so, like, you know, we do our thing. We do our thing. And I remember one of the first times we ever made glorious, glorious love. The morning after, I overheard him on the phone with a car dealer. And he's like, hey, man. His voice makes me wet and dry at the same time. You're like, hey, man, you can't be selling guys cars with no transmissions. I mean, my van's parked outside of my job. What am I supposed to do with that? And I was like, baby, what's that all about? And he said, well, you know, I was trying to turn my van into a tiny house situation, which is a real millennial way of saying I'm homeless. But I had to kind of investigate for myself, like how homeless are we talking? Are we doing couch surfing or are we Oscar the Grouch? And as he took my titty out of his mouth, he looked at me and said, not homeless enough to go teaching English in China. That was that on that. So, you know, I started feeling bad about myself. So what I do when I feel bad about myself is I go ahead and I turn on American Idol Rejects. Anybody ever watch American Idol Rejects? It's the best. Want to feel better about yourself? Watch that. So I'm going to ask a question. Let me see who we got in here that's still paying attention. Mike, have you ever gotten in trouble for singing a song you had no business singing? Come on, Mike. What was it? Afternoon Delight? Sky rockets and fly. Pew! Afternoon Delight. Was that it? I'm just guessing. I'm guessing. For me, I had a different one. I grew up in the 90s, right? And so, like, I had R. Kelly's 12-play album. This was an album that was so dirty. In Singapore, it was released as 4-play. Right? But it had songs on it. We all know Bump and Grind, but it had songs like Seems Like You're Ready. And I Like the Crotch on You, which is less of a song and more of a cry for help. But nevertheless, on American Idol, I see this girl. This had to be a 2003 audition. My entire 20s, I was in 2003. My entire 20s was a whole phase, so I missed this. But I'm watching the audition, and here's this girl, beautiful, blonde hair, blue eyes, Daisy Dukes, looks like a Britney Spears clone, right? She gets up, she gets ready to start singing her song. She goes a little something like this. Good loving body, rocking, knocking boots all night long. Yeah, knocking the boots. 1992, H-Town. This is a song I got the worst butt whooping in my life for singing. And I'm looking at this woman like, Brittany Jean, we need to talk. And then there was another time when I came back home and I'm just pushing my cart in the grocery store, picking up my Activia Now 14. And I hear a song come on the internet. But that's what we do, us reheated women. That's what we do. We pick up Activia Now 14. I hear this song on the overhead. And you know that music, I don't know what you call it, what genre it is, but it sounds like if you just ate cotton candy and drank lean. It had one of those types of beats, and it dropped to get real soft. The girl starts singing in the most amazing, ethereal Forest Elf voice. Back to life, back to the... And I was like, hold on, wait a second. I was 9 years old in 1991. Soul to soul, back to life. Beautiful Black folks with dreads and braids and Afro punk dancing in Nottingham fucking Forest. And there we got Susie Jean singing the song. So here's my remedy. I need 2020's missing murder hornets to finally make an appearance. And in order to set things right, they need to come along and pop Madonna's butt implants. I'm Erica Switzer. You guys have been fantastic. Pop, pop.
Erica Switzer, one more time, guys. Erica Switzer. And guys, give Erica Switzer a big break a leg for her upcoming set in front of human beings. Like live in front of other, like Erica, like there's gonna be people there that like can see you and everything like that. Like, is that what's going on? Wow. Oh my gosh. What is that like? What is it like to interact with human beings off the virtual landscape? I've got oh no, she's on mute. She's on mute. We can't hear what Erica's saying right now. Oh no, we can't hear.
We are sold out and we are midway through the show and I'm going to go up in about 10 minutes.
Wow. Give it up for Erica. That is awesome. We love to hear that. That is absolutely fantastic, guys. And this is the whole reason that KO Comedy has been going on for this past year and is going to continue to go on because we like to make sure kind of like a just this is like pre-gaming for Erica. She gets up, she gets some reps in, and now she's just going to crush it. And she's going to be like, you know what? If you were there at that KO show, you made it happen. You made it happen for me at that show in Chicago. So congratulate Erica. Guys, first off, give it up for yourselves, guys, for coming out to this comedy show tonight. Give it up for yourselves. You guys have been here. Let's be honest. You guys have been here. For the most part, you've been here. Julie decided now at the very end to turn on her camera. That's always nice. Same with Pat. Pat looks like he's thinking about it. Honestly, guys, it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful having you all here. I just want to wrap up a little bit of what's been taking place here on this lovely comedy show as you all mute yourselves. First off, Marcia and Mark, good fajitas? Enjoying them? All right. A-okay. All right. Fantastic. So, guys, if you're ever in where do you guys live? San Diego. So, guys, if you're in the San Diego area, just go to your yellow pages and look up Marcia and Mark. And then you should be able to find a house. Absolutely lovely place that has a comedy show online on their computer and they're cooking outside. And you go, oh, that's Marcia and Mark's house. I'm going to stop by and have some wonderful fajitas with them. Guys, I'm going to wrap up a little bit about what's been going on today. What we've learned today. First off, we've learned that Kofi has never just learned how to buy a towel. Congratulations to Kofi. That's a good start right there. Sabrina's had a squirrel friend. We all need squirrel friends, guys. That's very, very, very important. Akasha was talking about NASA, and I started tearing at my T-shirt. Davine represents all French Canadians, as we all know. She represents all French Canadians.
Yes,
Chad is having an aneurysm right now, talking to people on Instacart. So that's a concern. That's why he's no longer here. He's heading to the hospital. And of course, Erica is about to get on stage in front of a sold out crowd, wrapping up this entire evening. Guys, give it up one more time for KO Comedy. Check out KO Comedy every single show. We got another show at 9:00 tonight. If you want to stick around, stick around. Keep your microphones on once the show starts. Keep your cameras on once the show starts. Get that energy going. Maybe take a little bathroom break right now, and we will see you guys at 9:00. Thanks a lot, everybody. Woo! Woo!